Hey guys, welcome to the High School E-League Victorian Grand Final. My name is Jackson Prote Williams, and I am joined today by the one, the only...
Benjamin Tico Lee, or as some people like to call me, Discount Bjergsen, because, apparently I look like Bjergsen. Anyway.
You're not the Discount Bjergsen, you're not even close, my friend.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, but this is a game between Melbourne High School and Roxburgh College, and it is the grand final for Victorian teams.
Oh, indeed. Honestly, it's been an absolute blast casting the series, basically the season so far for High School E-League's very first season. And we've seen some amazing games, amazing adaptations. We've seen people rise up from the ashes, dominate. We've personally seen Melbourne High School dominate the competition. They went, what, 10-0 or something?
They are undefeated at 10-0, and it's amazing because every team that's come up again, they haven't been able, and no team has been able to defeat Melbourne High School. And it's just amazing that how solid this team is in their synergy and how they're able to play well together. Now, we've seen these two teams play before, and it was one game. It was not a best of three like we're going to see today, but it was just one game where Melbourne High School basically dominated.
Oh, without a doubt. And it's you have to think, what do you have to do to Melbourne High School? What do you have to take them off? How far do you have to push them just to see if they bleed? They're literally just gods in this competition right now. There have been very few teams that have been able to stand up, weather the pressure of them, and beat them. We've seen them do amazing drafts. We've seen them outplay. We've seen them out macro. There have been a few times where they've struggled a bit in the early game, but they just haven't quite been able to close out against Melbourne High School. They've been a dominant force.
Yeah, exactly. And we see the players on screen right now. 99.95 Atar. Havoc in this top lane. We saw him on Poppy against Roxburgh College, against Noxus Might on Garen. Now, that was an interesting game. Poppy was winning that lane.
Honestly, it's quite interesting to see. And with the entire team, there was a point where one of the players was unable to play for a few weeks, and so they had to swap a bit of their roster around, and they were still unbeatable. You saw Pronom. He took up ADC for a while to help the team, and he's back in the jungle where he's strongest, and he has been strong. He's a good carry player. He can play for the team, and honestly, I've met Pronom in real life, and I have to say his work ethic is quite insane. They did manage to get some amazing scrims against some
right in the middle, isn't that?
Yeah, that's Pronom there. He's on screen. Give the crowd a wave, my friend. Give the crowd a wave.
I don't know if he can hear you, but yeah, this is Melbourne High School that you're currently seeing, the 10-0 undefeated team, and we have the underdogs, Roxburgh College, we still have yet to see a weak spot in Melbourne High School.
Yep, so it's one of those things where it's the standard David versus Goliath, your Rocky Balboa versus Apollo Creed. You've got these massive, unstoppable force, and you got this underdog story, these guys who have fought their way up, and they're like, yeah, give me a shot, I can do this, I can win. And with this best of 3 series, we're going to see adaptation, we're going to be able to see people basically push each other to the limit, and we're actually going to as people will be able to see what works, what doesn't, and then adapt accordingly.
Yeah, and so you're currently seeing Roxburgh College on your screen right now. We have the coach behind. He's just
chilling out, just having some fun.
I think he's staring into the camera, staring into the souls of the camera, into everyone's eyes.
We gotta make sure we don't make eye contact because he's very intense right now.
Almost Cassiopeia intense.
Oh, that's
turn
really
everyone
intense.
to stone.
We just suddenly stop, and then everyone's like, is the stream buffering or?
Yeah. No, the stream is not buffering. It's just the coach just being a bit.
Yep.
Cassiopeia-ish.
But anyway, guys, honestly, we'd like to make a massive shout out to everyone who's made this possible. From the guys at High School E-League to the players themselves. So the players have put aside a lot of time. Even if you haven't made the you put it into practice. You put it into basically just trying to gel with your team. It's extra time on top of your studies. Some of these people are in the final years of high school, and they still kept on doing this. We have to thank the teachers as well for getting involved, being able to encourage these players in something that's not traditional sports, and something that's an emerging field that a lot of people look at and be like, that's not a real thing.
No.
And it is growing. So massive shout out to teachers, students, to the schools involved, to High School E-League, and even the production team here. They've been doing an amazing job today.
They've been here since the early hours of the morning. Well, I mean, we were sort of late, but that's besides the point. No, we've had people come into the room, make sure everything's okay, make sure the lighting's okay. Perfect. And we have amazing headsets. I love these.
Oh, these headsets. We're gonna try and like they're gonna check our bags as we leave. I can guarantee. It's like, yeah, these guys are not to be trusted with their headsets, but
yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, indeed. So well, anyway, so it's one of those things where I have to say these names, the names that they have for some of their IGNs, are quite interesting. You have Thresh Produce.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well, we have still yet to see him on Thresh.
We do have yet. He might have played Thresh in a game we didn't cast, unfortunately. But if he's named Thresh Produce, you have to think that he's a godlike Thresh. We're gonna see some Mad Life hooks, honestly.
Yeah, Mad Life, definitely. It's not Mad Life anymore. It's Thresh Produce.
Yeah, true. It's Thresh Produce now. So it's one of those things where
Thresh Produce. Yeah.
He went to the market today because he's feeling Thresh. just came out of the shower. I'm feeling Thresh today, boys. But yeah, so we do have 99.95 ATAR. You have obviously we know where he got his IGN. It's from wishful thinking.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's we hope that he does well in his ATAR, and we hope that everyone gets a good ATAR if they decide to finish U12.
100%. It's like it's one of those things. If some of these people have looked very promising, and there is a possibility of them trying to go for like a collegiate level League of Legends team, like University E-League, or other such things. But we are getting into the picks and bans right now. So guys, can we get a massive cheer for both these teams as we start the picks and bans?
Woo! Yeah! Go Melbourne High and Roxburgh College! Woo! But we've already started the picks and bans. Well, we've already started the bans. So Melbourne High School have taken away the Hecarim, have taken away the Kai'Sa, and also the all-dominant Darius.
Yep. So Darius got a few buffs a few patches ago, and has been a menace in the top lane. He's been very dominant, very good on red side because he's an amazing counter pick because he can be a lane bully. There are a few champions that can shut him down in the early phase and just put him on the back end and make him quite useless as the game goes on. But
like Quinn.
Yeah, like Quinn, for example. Let's not get started on your Predator Quinn, shall we? But so Darius...
yeah, keep bringing it up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Darius is really good on red side because you always get that last pick. So you can see what their top laner is and then counter pick accordingly. So really strong ban right there.
Yeah, but we're going to focus on the pick before we go back to the bans. The Varus first pick lock-in.
So, as a reminder, guys, this is patch 8.16, not 8.17, which just dropped. So, Varus is still strong. Even though they nerfed Gwynsu's, Varus was very much a menace, building Storm Razor first. And he was toned back a bit in his laning phase due to his health, his base health stat being lower by 50, but that's in 8.17. This is 8.16. He's still very healthy. He's got a lot of range, so he can have a safe laning phase, and he scales amazingly. He's this insane late-game AD carry that is still relevant at all stages of the game.
Oh, and both teams are playing very dangerous. They have locked in the AD carries first, as well as the Sejuani coming out for surveillance.
Yeah, so the Sejuani, it's a really strong jungler, has a good clear, very good early game ganks, very good in skirmishes as well. Over a few patches ago, did get the armor actually nerfed, so this was quite a while ago, early in the season, where the armor doesn't last as long, it isn't as high, but you're still getting that huge armor burst, then you're getting the aftershock bonus as well. So it's very hard to burst on a Sejuani, and by that time you've already got so much CC coming out, and you've got this frontline tank for the start of the fight, so pretty much sets up the rest of your team. Sejuani, really strong pick. I quite like the idea of a Sejuani like a tank jungle in this meta.
Yeah, I mean, they have locked in, Melbourne High School have locked in Zac, as well as a Morgana, so this bot lane is going to be a very heavy poke.
So, with the 8.16, there was a lot of nerfs to the assassins. So, you had the electrocute nerfs. One of the few assassins that was still somewhat relevant were, I believe, the Fizz, who was a bit nerfed in 8.16.
Yeah, he had they put a dent in his champion, but doesn't stop anyone from picking him.
And also the Akali, who is quite literally a pick to win in some instances. But so with the tank junglers, you do have the electrocute nerf doesn't really affect you, and you're still fairly strong.
Yeah, and we do see the massive duo in bot lane. It's Lucian and the Braum.
So Lucian Braum is an insane bot lane. it's so easy to proc and so easy to go all in. But of course, we do have the Morgana counter to a certain extent. So that was picked before the Braum because they probably predicted the Braum and said, you know what, we're just gonna have a safe laning phase. And Morgana is one of those champions that can just shut down an aggressive lane. You have the Black Shield, and you also have that binding, so you have an AFK for like 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, the Black Shield does counter a lot of the damage or CC that this team wants to dish out. We have can mitigate a lot of the CC. You have the Sejuani. Black Shield does so much against these two champions, and we just have to see how Synthesize is going to be able to carry out and carry his carry, basically. But we do see an Aatrox ban and a Jace coming out from Roxburgh, as well as a Jax.
Yep, so with the Aatrox has been really dominant in the top lane. He's a very big lane bully, puts a lot of damage, and his scaling did get buffed a little bit while his early game prowess got mitigated a little bit with the all-out bully potential that he could just win every single lane. So the Aatrox and Jace are both very heavy bully laners, whereas you do have the split push carry top laner bans coming out from it seems to be very much what appears to be like a late game team that's worried about a split push against an early game team that's worried about a lane bully in the top lane. So, and with Roxburgh College, they're leaving the top lane pick open last for that counter pick.
Yeah, exactly. So they want to make sure that 99.95 Atar doesn't get the pick he wants, or doesn't get they have opportunity to counter 99.95 Atar, and we have yet to see what they're going to lock in for that top lane. They're going to have they're hovering the Galio mid, but there's also a Swain on the side of Roxburgh.
Yeah, so the Galio mid, so Galio is a really good champion just for kind of nullifying the lane. It allows you to have some really good wave clear in that mid lane, as well as great roaming potential. So it's a safe essence, and with the Swain, you do have that magic shield to handle him. So even though Swain has amazing sustain in that lane, good wave clear, Galio's wave clear is arguably better, and you have better roaming potential. So really good pickup here from for Miko in the mid lane. But this is quite an interesting
Yeah, it's
pick.
interesting. We do see Nargada. You have the Nar. He's being picked up in the top lane by 99.95 Atar. But on the side of Noxious Might, they have picked Renekton.
So this is very interesting because Nar has very few counters. Like he's an amazing champion, really good lane bully, but one of the few counters he has is actually the Renekton. If Renekton gets onto Mini Nar and Mini Nar can't get out, that is going to be a hard shutdown from Noxus Might. So Noxus Might does have the counter pick. This does work out in their favor. And looks 99.95 Atar is looking to probably just weather the laning phase, maybe get a lot of harass down, make sure that the Renekton can't all in, and then he can either try and go for a split push lane pressure build, which is hard against a Renekton, or he can go for that massive team fight Gnar ultimate kind of comp, which does look like it might be their strategy considering the champion lineup they have here.
Yeah, it's really good, especially with Gnar. His ultimate is called Gnar, which is weird. Gnar using his Gnar
with like
into
bunch
a
of
wall.
Capitals and exclamation marks.
Yeah,
though, so
it's
Gnar.
G-N-A-R exclamation
So
mark.
it's Gnar.
Yeah, but it's like it's also the passive for his ultimate. Anyway,
Oh my.
you use Gnar into a wall, right? And then Galio combo as well as a Zac just comes diving in, and it's a massive team fight comp. But you can't forget that both teams have basically 3 tanks each side. So there's Gnar, Galio, and Zac on Melbourne High School, and
Sejuani, the Renekton, which is the
Renekton.
bruiser diving.
Yeah. And Swain.
And Swain, yeah. And here's the thing with the and the Braum, sorry. The Braum.
Oh, yeah, another one.
So Swain
4
is
tanks.
off tank, Renekton's off tank.
So 3.5 tanks.
Yeah, so, and with the Renekton, oftentimes people just go for the heavy split push build because you get ahead in the Renekton and you rely on the base health stats from the Black Cleave. And you just win that split push. And against Gnar, this can be quite useful. So once again, we're seeing the Melbourne High School go with this kind of team fight related comp that we saw them use last time. And Roxburgh College is going for a bit more of a lane dominant kind of comp.
Yeah, and we did see Roxburgh College, they did ban out the Orianna, and Orianna is a massive team fight mid laner. So that was a really good target ban against the team comp that they happen that they are comfortable with. So that was a really good ban. But we are going to head right into the first game between Melbourne High School and Roxburgh College. Now, they're going to start off with pretty standard starts, playing it safe, getting the sort of feel of what each other are playing, what they play like.
Pretty much, it's the line of scrimmage. The for invades, and you can back off accordingly and then counter invade if need be. So it does look like we are getting the standard bot side start, which does help with just an excess amount of it does help with the extra clear, that you get from the ADC and the support rather than just the top laner. And it's going to be interesting to see if they try and like go for maybe if they try to go for counter invades or whatnot, or if they try and force others onto certain sides of the map. So one of the key things that you can do in this early game is try and invade the enemy jungler, and then either shut them down at a buff, or opposingly, you could just try and force them out. Well, try and force them onto one side of the map by clearing out the other side of the jungle. So they're always going to.
We're going to see. I mean, it's pretty basic. We do have Nari, he's sort of poking out. He's not really poking out Noxious Might because they're playing it very safe. This top lane is more of a safe first game for this between 99 and Noxious. And it's just going to be interesting to see how this poke lane is going to come out in this bot lane as well, because Rocks are taking quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, indeed. And it'd be amazing to be able to see like what items they took, but unfortunately we don't have that part of it yet. So we can't see the CS differences, we can't see the items, but of course we can just look at like how it goes from here. So look at the health bars. It's immediately we see Zach having an issue in regards to like that clear. He does have an unhealthy clear at the very beginning, but here we do have the Season 8 Scuttle contestant. But of course with the extra wave clear from Miko, it is easier for Pronom to be able to take that Scuttle with backup from his mid laner. So there's Miko doing very well there. Still waiting on items though.
No, that's fine. We do see Miko. He's sort of dominant in the first 3 levels. Well, I mean, we do have a level 3, but he's gonna go all in onto Venomous. He's taking quite a bit of damage, and he's gonna be able to walk away from that one quite easily, popping a health pot in the process.
Yeah. So right there we see Miko being. Miko's obviously showed a great understanding of Galio. So even though he looked like the Vision of the Empire was going to shut him down, was going to do quite a bit of damage onto him and heal Venomous, he turned. And with his full combo, Galio has quite a bit of damage there. So really well played by Miko to turn that around, and does help with some aggressive warding and some counter invade.
Yeah, and I mean, there's not going to be much coming out from these junglers just yet. I mean, they did have a little bit of a skirmish over that Scuttle, but right now it's fairly even in CS. It's fairly even in Gold. There's not much happening. Like, they are just playing a very passive first game. They want to make sure that they don't lose this first game. They're playing very safe, and I'm not exactly sure if that's what Roxburgh College want to do, especially with this bot lane.
It's honestly, if you look at the bot lane, Roxburgh College, they want to actually win it hard. Do have the lane advantage.
But we do see a gank onto Miko. He's going to be able to taunt 2 members. He's going to have to flash away. But we do see a stun coming out from Surveillance, a cancelled teleport as well. And he's going to be able to back away from this one.
Yeah, so that is 2 summoners burned.
Oh, but there's an all-in down bot lane. First blood going over up the top side. However, Noxious Might goes down. Liquid Sandwich picking up another one. Termes goes down. And that is unfortunate start going over to Roxburgh College.
It's indeed, and there we have Melbourne High School with some great aggression there. And 99.95H are winning that matchup in top, and we do have a very aggressive TP from Noxious Might.
Noxious Might, he's going to get the Pressy attack stack. One more auto should do it, but no! A good flash coming out from 99. Able to escape from that one with a sliver of health.
So close, but Noxious Might now has the wave pushing towards him, so he will be able to just try and freeze it on the Gnar and force the Gnar to overextend, maybe set up for a possible gank from Surveillance up in the top lane. But of course, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes, considering that the Renekton will probably be going for that Tiamat first to help with the wave clear and help with the lane pressure. So he can go in, do those dives that he needs to, and just really just get ahead of the Gnar, because that's what he needs to do in this early game. Otherwise, he's going to keep on getting bullied out by the Gnar. And that's a problem if you're a Renekton.
It is. Renekton does not want to fall behind in a game like this, especially when they just fell down 2 kills. And you want that solid top laner. You want that top laner to be able to hold against his opposing top laner, and maybe even hold against the bot lane if they decide to go for a lane swap. So he just needs to be able to play against 99.95 ATAR, especially with Fleet Full Work on 99. He's going for the sustain against Renekton.
Yep. So so unfortunately we're not able to see what people are building towards, so we're going to try and we're trying to give them a hint, you know. So what we're probably going to see soon is we're going to see the Galio pick up that Rod of Ages, try and get that wave clear, keep on shoving in mid lane, and then he can easily affect the side waves without worrying about missing too much CS or losing his tower, as Venomous doesn't have the push possible to actually really get that mid lane tower. So Galio would then have complete control of the map because of that ultimate. If we look at it in the top lane, of course, Noxus Might is still just having a bit of a hard time against 99.95 ATAR.
Yeah, he's taking quite a bit of poke, and that sustain coming out from Fleet Full Work. 99.95 ATAR is playing this lane really well. Renekton's a counter to Gnar, but looking at the score, it doesn't seem like it.
No, it does not. So we are looking to see a lot of attention down bot side, because this is definitely a powerful lane, but with the control ward there, they don't know surveillance is here, but of course Pronom thinks something's happening. They haven't seen him, so he's sticking around bot side, but he has actually just gone for his red buff. Of course, this does appear to be a...
Yeah, no, they're just going to... Nothing's going to happen. This lane is staying... Bot lane is staying stagnant, so the lane's not pushing into anyone's favor, and there's nothing a jungler can really do in that sort of situation. But more towards this mid lane, Miko is pushed up rather... I mean, that's what you want to be as a Galio. You want to be pushed up to be able to roam. And he does have level 7, so he does have his ultimate, his hero's entrance. So he's going to be able to roam a lot better now, and we should start seeing him roam soon.
Oh, indeed. And they do have a lot of vision around the river, so they can see the Sejuani coming in for a cheeky gank. So Miko's very well protected there, and it looks like Roxburgh does know this, but it does look like the Sejuani might be going for a cheeky gank up top. Well, Pronom's
is bot lane. He doesn't have his ulti yet. He's still level 5, but he's still going to channel that slingshot. He flashes, but he's not going to be able to get the knock-up. A good Dark Binding lands onto the Braum, but Pronom is taking quite a bit of damage, and they're going to have to back away from this one. A really, really well-timed shield coming out from Thresh Produce.
Yep, really well done, and the flash was blown from Pronom, so that's a playmaking tool down, but of course, Pronom with the Elastic Slingshot, he has amazing range to be able to get in there. And,
99 taking a bit of damage.
You do not want to get caught in that
No,
combo
definitely
from
not.
Renekton. It is such a disgusting combo, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's fine. He's got Fleet Full Work.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He'll be able to heal that back up. And especially with the passive, he's going to go back into Gnar form, gain a little bit of extra health, go back into mini Gnar, as he's just done. And sustain the lane. That's basically what he wants to do in this game right now. He's got a kill up. He's a kill up. He's gold up. And he knows he still doesn't have the advantage in this lane. He's playing it very passive, and that's what you want to do.
Oh, indeed. And it's... Ooh. And, so, if we look at the objectives on the map, so it's only a 300... There we go! Ladies and gentlemen, we have vision of what is hhappening.
Okay, so we do have the phage that has been picked up by 99.95 ATAR. So he is currently ahead.
He'll build that into a Black Cleaver, definitely, because that allows him to just do so much armor shred.
Where did that go?
That was a cheeky boomerang.
Oh, the BMs.
The BM for the crowd. Gentlemen. But of course, even though after the first blood, the lead is actually for the Renekton. Due to the 20 CS lead, you only get a 400 gold advantage. But of course, Renekton's just farming like crazy. Yeah. The gold lead would actually be in the bot lane with that kill on the Varus, and the mid lane due to that almost 20 CS lead between Galio and Swain. So, this actually, funnily enough, with a lot of these high school elite games, sometimes they turn into absolute bloodbaths, and this one's actually turning out to be quite slow, very calculated. People are not making too many aggressive plays. It's
the first game.
100%, yeah. So we're probably gonna see some
action up in this top lane. We do see both junglers here. The ultimate has the Glacial Prison, and he's going to get a good Gnar ultimate, knocking them back into the wall. Pronom is here as well, and they're just going to have to back away from this one. Surveillance is going to get bought back in, but unfortunately the ulti does miss, and they're going to have to back away from this one. If 99.95 ATAR plays it safe, he's going to get knocked up. He's going to have to flash away from this one. A good knock-up coming out, and the passive, the blobs come out. Pronom somehow is able to get the kill onto Noxious Might. A really good orb walking. He's going to be able to pick up another one. Miko in the mid lane, down in the bot lane. Nothing's happening. That's besides the point. But we do see Miko. He picked up a kill onto Venomous as well.
The caster's curse. As we say, nothing's happening. Suddenly, everything breaks loose. The Aftershock from Pronom looked to pick up the kill onto Noxus Mai, and that was completely unforeseen. Amazing play right there.
I'm still trying to figure out how Noxious Might died to Pronom.
Aftershock.
That's still procs.
It's still because you're still technically alive.
Okay.
So I do believe it's around like the base where like you're going to reform.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, so really unfortunate there. And an amazing turnaround from Melbourne High School. They did look like they were disadvantaged. We did see summoners being burnt. We saw 99.95 ATAR being a little bit too aggressive, but it was more of a bait rather than anything else.
Yeah.
Just absolutely insane. And of course, from all that, we do see the Black Cleaver being picked up from Gnar, whereas it's just a Tiamat. So we are seeing the power spikes coming out from Melbourne High School.
Yeah, and with the amazing orb walking coming out from 99.95 ATAR to stop a lot of the damage that Surveillance wanted to dish out. And,
like, well, this man deserves his 99.95 ATAR. Just give it to him.
Well, I mean,
oh,
if you can get a 99.95 ATAR,
you definitely deserve it.
In game.
Oh, yeah, in game, yeah.
Like a gaming version of 99.95.
Would that be Challenger rank 1 or?
No, Challenger rank 2. Because he's sharing it. But we do see a massive ulti coming in. Hero's Entrance, Liquid Sandwich picks up another one as a Surveillance. In comes the Gnar. He's knocking them back. The culling has been used. And Noxious Might is in the middle. Synthesize is going to be able to pick up the kill onto that one. Termes is going to pick up another one. Shutdown gold onto 99. And he's going to go ham. He picks up one kill. He's got another assist on him, and they are going to land a Dark Binding. A lot of damage onto the Swain. There in comes the taunt, 3 men, as he's going to be able to pick up. Synthesize is going to be able to pick up that one. He's got 2 kills under his belt. They're going on to Termes, but they're not going to be able to do it as he's got a free flash under his belt.
Yep. So what happened there was it looked like an amazing engage. We see the teleports come out from both top laners. They come in. We see the AoE engage of Melbourne High School just really paying off. But of course, what happened at the end of that is the main carries, the Lucian and the Swain, did not get touched properly. So it's next thing you know, you get these 2 carries that are still healthy, outputting damage, and they're just starting to shred the tanks. Miko, he did a lot of work with the Hero's Entrance. Oh, sorry, yeah, with the Hero's Entrance. But unfortunately, they weren't able to lock up the right targets. And of course, they did lose 2 members, but then they turned it around because once again, Roxburgh got a bit too aggressive. They're like, you know what, we've taken so much, let's take the kitchen sink as well. And then Melbourne, it's just like, we want to wash dishes there, so don't take it.
That was
a great analogy.
Great analogy.
Yeah, amazing.
Amazing. No, the police arrived.
The police arrived and said, no, you're not taking.
No, you're not taking the kitchen sink.
No.
You can take everything else.
So who's the police? Would that be Miko? Would Miko be the police?
No, Miko would be the sheriff.
The sheriff. Doesn't that pertain to police as well?
Oh, sorry, no, the chief.
So the chief are we talking about like a Native American kind of chief, or it's like
that's irrelevant? But they are picking up an Ocean Drake, so that's gonna be the first dragon of the game going over to an uncontested Melbourne High School, and we do see a fight going up in this top lane. He's gonna go back to Mini-Gnar. He's like, yep, I respect you, Renekton, enough to back away. Right as I know that Mini-Gnar is coming back in.
Because if Renekton can get onto the Mini-Gnar, he does not have the tanky stats to be able to survive the combo from Renekton with the press the attack. And because he doesn't have that many tanky stats yet, he's only got the Ninja Tarbite and the health from Black Cleaver. This Renekton can CC chain for days and shred.
But Pronom is in this bot side. He's going to blob. No, he's not actually. Glacial Prison does land. But as we were saying before, that's a Black Shield coming into work. A teleport coming out from Venomous as he does complete it into this bot side. However, we do see Miko in the mid lane. He's pushed that wave up to the turret, and that's going to dish out a little bit of damage. He looks like he might be rotating towards the top side, however. Maybe looking for something there.
So what this has done is they've burnt the teleport from Venomous. They didn't really get anything from it. They lost the flash from Pronom, but they do get mid priority, and that's a 30 CS lead in mid lane, as well as just getting extra damage on this top tower.
massive respect coming out from Noxious Mind. He sees Galio coming on top of that control ward and backs away to his second tier turret.
Yeah.
That...
So it's honestly a good communication from the guys, really good respect there, just playing a lot safer, and it's, even though we do have a 3,000 gold lead in favor of Melbourne High School, we're still seeing some great plays from Roxburgh. They're trying to be proactive, they're trying to get this lead back, and to a certain extent, it's better than waiting for the other team to win. You're trying to be proactive about it, but of course, Prono...
Oh, you're standing on top of a ward.
That is hard.
Oh, and they didn't get rid of it.
They didn't even get it.
They didn't get rid of it, no!
That is the most hard... Aside from missing a cannon minion, that is the second most
will he get this cannon minion? Oh, we
can't
won't see
even
it.
see
But, he got the cannon minion.
He got it?
Yeah, he got it.
We check the CS? Okay, you're good.
No, I mean, Venomous got one. But Miko, he's going to go a little bit ham onto Venomous. He's not going to get a full amount of damage, but he's going to bring him down to half health. Meanwhile, Miko not taking much damage back, as Venomous doesn't have the damage to do so yet. He's got the Rod of Ages. He's completed it. But Miko is so much further ahead with another Rod of Ages. Miko is not going to be able to land it, but a Dark Binding does land. Ultimate coming out. But we do see Thin Synthesize taking on the mid laner 1v1 and able to complete the kill. Meanwhile, we do see Nox's Mind. He's going to be able to take down Synthesize. A lot of damage going out onto Miko, but he's going to be able to... No, he's not. He's going to go down. The really good Zac ultimate, but unfortunately, he's got no team to back him up there. Nox's Mind tanking turret, but unfortunately, that Zac is going to go down. Double kill going over to Surveillance. Gnar, you're a bit out of... you're out of the...
Yeah,
in a way.
You're a bit late. You're a bit late there, my friend.
Doesn't have TP, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, he did burn that for the earlier team fight where everything just went crazy. But of course, Miko and Miko and Synthesize do get a bit over aggressive for the kill into the costing them a lot. They have lost. They've only got a 1,500 gold lead. It's not a massive disadvantage now, but they did lose. They did lose quite a bit of proactiveness potential that they come from, but they just get it back with a second tower. It's once again 2,000 gold lead there.
And
almost.
They are going for the Rift Herald as well. They've got Roxburgh have a lot of vision around this Rift Herald, so I'm not sure if they're going to be... They will not be able to sneak it, but they might still be able to take it.
Like, I'll be honest, I have to applaud Melbourne High School and Roxburgh. They've both had amazing vision control in this game, especially around the river. Specifically around mid lane. And they've been doing a fantastic job of just going for these objective plays. We're 18 minutes in, it is 9-5, but the goal is Melbourne High School now a Drake and a Rift Herald.
Yeah, and there was a potential fight. We do see a lot of members up in this top side. Miko, however, will not be able to join. He does not have teleport up. He will have to walk halfway across the river to use his grand entrance, hero's entrance, sorry. But he's going to be able to take another first tier turret, the last first tier turret standing away from Roxburgh College.
Yep, so once again we're seeing Melbourne High School just dominate in the macro game, which doing an absolutely fabulous job. But of course, if we look across the board so far, so we're looking at power spikes. Both the Renekton and the Gnar are looking to go for the Sterix gauge. They're both looking to go for that split push kind of thing. But with that Black Cleaver, with the Tiamat, coming out of Nox's Might, he's going to have so much wave clear. And if he can get onto Mini Gnar, he will be able to shred him with the press the attack, because neither side really has a lot of armor. So it's going to be very good. And with Black Cleavers, of course, armor shred. So it's definitely going to be a split push game. And both sides are going to try and just try and get those towers while the other's away, because they both have shown that they've got decent disengage.
Yeah, they do. They have a massive amount of disengage, especially with Fresh Produce on Brom. He's doing really well to keep everyone away from Termes, and Termes is not doing terribly. He's keeping up with Liquid Sandwich. In CS, he's not too far behind. In overall gold, however, we do see Melbourne High School are a lot further ahead. They're 2,000 gold ahead. And
would you call that low? Would you call that like a relevant amount?
At this stage, on this stage, right now, 2,000 gold is a massive amount.
400 gold each ahead. So that's roughly like a ruby crystal or extra. So that's actually quite a bit amount. That's quite a bit of gold, to be honest. And with Rift Herald being dropped mid, they are not going to be able to, as he gets CC chained to oblivion.
Deleted. Rift Herald getting deleted. That's the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, It's like you put a Zoe that can kill a Rift Hero in one shot. That's what that felt like. It just did not feel nice.
Oh, but we do see Melbourne High School. They are pushing into the jungle. They're playing very dangerous, maybe getting a little bit cocky.
Yep, they do have a lot of vision around the topside jungle, so trying to play around that.
Oh, but we do see 99.95 ATAR. He's building up that Gnar Rage Bar. He's preparing, and that was a really good Q coming out from Brom. He's going to be able to proc it, and they're just going to back away from it.
Yep. So it's really good, especially because now the Gnar, he isn't.
Oh, he forces a fight though. In comes the hero's entrance. Zach is gonna bring them in. 2 members knocked up. He's gonna bring them into the backline as well. Liquid Sandwich dishing out a lot of damage on the backline. He's going on a killing spree. Double kill going over to Termes, however, as they've turned this around. Liquid Sandwich, no peel as he goes down instantly. Termes gets a triple kill in that team fight, and they are chasing down the remaining members of Melbourne High School. Taunt lands, but Noxious Might, he is not phased as he is going ham onto Miko. Slow goes down, and the rest of the members are there as well. Surveillance is going to be able to pick him up. Noxious Might getting the final kill onto him, and that was a really good team fight coming out from Roxburgh.
Yep, and they are going to turn onto the Baron with only Pronom up. He can go for the Miracle Steal on the Zac, and with such long range on the Elastic Slingshot, he can make it. But that team fight, we saw 99.95 ATAR. The Rage Bar was running out, so they felt pressure to do something.
Oh, but they're looking to turn onto Pronom. However, 99.95 ATAR, he's dishing out quite a bit of damage. Shutdown gold going over to the jungler, and they may actually be able to turn this around. A good shield coming out from Fresh Produce, but he might have to pay for that one with his life. They're not focusing him down. Venomous is taking quite a bit of damage, and Pronom's going to be able to pick up the kill onto that one.
And of course, they honestly turn that around massively. We have 99.95 ATAR just doing so much work and being able to take out Surveillance. So with no jungler, they can't go for the Baron because they will most likely lose it to the Smite Steal. But of course, everyone's coming back up. This is going to be another contestant for the Baron right now.
Oh, but the second tier turret had been taken by Miko. He doesn't have the hero's entrance, however. Down goes Thresh Produce, Synthesize doing work. Noxious Might going on a killing spree, killing the AD carry. Pronom barely escaping from that one. Termes, the culling has been used. Synthesize forced to flash away from this one. That was really well done by Termes. He is the carry of his team right now, 4-1.
Yep, he had a bit of a lackluster laning phase because Pronom was able to get some decent ganks off there from the bush. But of course, it's at the end of the day, they're still losing the macro game. They're 3,000 gold down, their 4 towers down, and we're just seeing Melbourne High School make the proactive play. And the one break that Roxburgh did get from Melbourne High School just making a bit too of an aggressive play, thinking they were a bit further ahead than they actually are, they weren't even able to properly capitalize. They got no objectives. They got stopped at the Baron, and they end up losing more for it. So it's really hard right now to see a world in which Roxburgh College can come back from this, considering that they do not outscale. They don't have the better team fight comp. Galio come late game with the Gnar and also the Zac are just, it's just going to be an amazing engage and lockdown, especially with so much CC coming out of Synthesize and Liquid Sand as well.
Yeah, and they are going to be able to take down that Mountain Drake, second Drake of the game. And unfortunately, Roxburgh College can't trade that because of the amount of vision that Melbourne High School placed around that Baron. And they are looking to rotate into this mid lane. They have pinged that second tier turret in the mid lane as well. So they really want to capitalize on this, use that Mountain Drake, and take down objectives quickly. If not, maybe Baron.
Yep, and with both Mountain and Ocean Drake means they have so much siege potential. They have amazing wave clear coming from Miko and Liquid Sand, and they actually have quite decent poke coming out of them as well. They can force the fights as well. They can make sure they stay healthy because of the Ocean Drake healing, and the extra objective damage from the Mountain Drake is no joke. It plays to their strengths. They're playing an objective focus game, and that is how they've won. They've got the team comp for it, and it's so far they're just pulling it off just tremendously well.
Yeah, they're doing so well with it, but they are not too far behind. It's now 2,500 gold difference between these two teams, and look, they're not too far behind considering the circumstances they are under.
But if you look at the gold, if you look at actually power spike, so here's one of the things that you have to really worry about. Varus got the Blade of the Ruined King, got the Rapid Fire Cannon, building towards the Infinity Edge. When he gets to Infinity Edge, he is going to start shredding. That is the point where he starts beating Termes and he's just going to be so much of a better team fighter. Lucian does fall off due to the fact that he has to be so aggressive with his team fighting. He has a very short range, so he's very abusable in those team fights. In the mid lane, Miko on that Galio, amazing team fighter. Of course, Venomous is an amazing team fighter as well on the Swain, but it depends on whether Liquid Sand can stay alive, and with the amount of peel he has from Synthesize, Pronome, 99.958 on Miko, it's going to be very difficult for the main diver, Noxus Might, to actually get to him and shut him down. And if they can't shut him down, he just shreds.
But they actually did start Baron. There's a good ward coming out from Roxburgh College, as the control ward that Melbourne High School placed can't actually spot it out behind that Baron. That's, yeah, good vision coming out from Roxburgh as they stopped a Baron from being taken. But right now, it's more of a stalemate. What's going to happen next? When will 99.95 ATAR... Basically, that's what Melbourne High School is. They wait for Nar to go in, then they have a lot of follow-up. They have a massive amount of follow-up, and we just have to wait to see how he's going to bring it out.
Yeah, and Melbourne High School, I don't know whether it's like nerves of being on stage and being in the grand final, but they have tried to be a bit too over-aggressive.
Oh, 99.95 ATAR, full rage bar, so we might actually see something coming out. The back coming out from Termes, and maybe that's not the best place or time to back.
Well, at the end of the day, he didn't back, and he is still fairly healthy. But of course, looking at the side waves,
Oh, he did hit that Gnar, but not into a wall. They did it just to take that turret, and they're just going to back away from this, being like, well, okay, I've taken what I need. I'm just going to back away. Respect.
And that's good considering they've got the bot lane is pushing against them, so they do have to catch that wave soon. And top lane is frozen, so they're just probably going to match those waves, do their wave control, which they've been so good at this game. But of course, the longer this goes on, the more of a split push threat this Renekton is. He does have the Titanic Hydra now. He does have his Black Cleaver. He's got the Mercury Treads, but of course, because of this massive gold lead in the for the side of Melbourne High School, the Gnar, even though he's down in CS, does actually have an item lead, picking up the Randuin's Omen. And Randuin's Omen's really good in this matchup because even though you don't have a lot of crit except for coming out of the Lucian, Renekton relies on getting onto you. And firstly, you've got the Frozen Mallet to slow him down, and then you've got that Randuin's Omen. So if he actually does get onto you, he can't shred you. You got armor. He can't stay on you because you slow him down. And you can just kite him for days, and that is how you would win that split push against the Renekton. So I love this item pathing from 99.95 ATAR.
Yeah, and they are going to... They're going to have a Locket being picked up by Pronome. So he's going more of a support jungler because it's more of a... team fight orientated, protect the carry comp. Varus, highly protect the carry sort of champion. They will want to keep him alive. Miko, however, he might have a few people looking to kill him.
Yeah, but of course we do see the startings of what's probably going to be a Lock of the Iron Solari on both the Braum and also the Surveillance on the Sejuani, because Lock of the Iron Solari is such an amazing item for those shorter team fights, and considering that you got this massive wombo combo with Zac, Gnar, Galio, the burst shielding from the Lock of the Iron Solari in an AoE effect can completely counter that engage. So I do like the idea of these pickups from Roxburgh, and it's very good. They understand they're behind. They know they're playing on the back foot, so they know they need to find a way to weather this early engage, which whenever they do, which has been... I do believe they've won 2 massive team fights where they just weathered that engage, and it's definitely turned out for the better of them. They do have that sustained damage with the Swain, with the Lucian, to possibly finish them off if they can keep Liquid Sand out of the fight.
Yeah, and they just need to make sure that not only Liquid Sandwich stays out of the fight, they need to make sure that Synthesize isn't there to protect the carry with the massive amount of Black Shield. The massive Black Shield that Synthesized may bring out. That was a different blasting cone. But yeah, they are sieging up this top lane.
It's been,
again,
ever since the failed team fights, it looks like they've been afraid to go for these engagements, just play the macro game, which they are amazingly good at. They have shown time and time again. They just push in a wave, they just wave clear, they get a bit of chip damage on the tower, and with the Mountain Drake, they can do that with extra damage. And with the Cloud Drake, with the Ocean Drake, they just sustain up any damage they might take. Yeah. So they can just siege for days. But of course, they are definitely afraid of the counter engage, the AoE from Roxburgh, and they're showing a lot of respect because they don't want to get caught out now, especially because both the Dragon and the Baron are up, so they could lose both objectives if they lose a team fight here, even though they're so far ahead.
And Liquid Sandwich isn't actually going for an Infinity Edge. He's going for a Guinsoo's Rage Blade. Guinsoo's
Rage Blade, an absolutely amazing item on Varus, but that just means that he's spiking still in the Guinsoo's. He's got amazing damage, a lot more attack speed. He's able to get that Phantom hit going, and this looks like a second Mountain Drake, so there's going to be so much more damage on those towers. But of course, it does look like people are starting to collapse here. It's going to be like another team fight if they don't even check it.
They don't have any vision. Roxburgh don't have any vision, and either they don't. Yeah, they had no vision of this dragon, as you can see. Prono is going to be able to get spotted out by that ward. There may be a fight coming out here. He's channeling that, but a good binding lands. In comes the hero's entrance. He's going to be able to knock up 3 members. Venomous is going to get taunted. A massive taunt coming out from Miko. Liquid Sandwich, he's going ham. 99.95 ADAR on a killing spree. He's going to go massive, but we do see Zach. He's blobbing right into the enemy team. He's going to... That was a questionable... But
that was actually a very good blob. If you look at it, he did it to zone off Termes and Nox's Might, so they had no issue because Termes still had the damage to burst a lot of them down because they're all very low.
Synthesize. He's going to go down so quickly. Termes has a lot of burst, especially on to the squishies, and so they're going to be able to take down this inhibitor. Flash coming out. They're not actually going to be able to take it down. Liquid Sandwich is going to be able to kill Noxious Might. Now Termes is the only one left alive to hold against these 3. Now 4 massive members.
Yeah, so really well done with the team fight. And we saw Miko being able to get a 5-man taunt with that Shield of Durand. And that was amazing, setting up his team to demolish that team fight. They only lost 1 member, which was Synthesized near the end of that team fight due to a bit of over-aggression. But they got the inhibitor, they got the inhibitor tower, and they've absolutely cleaned up. This is 6,500 gold lead now. They do have map pressure, and it's... What they've been able to do is, because they've been able to keep Roxburgh on their side of the map for so long, Roxburgh have to try and push out now and try and get vision around the major objectives. And this is what they've done. They've been able to just continually starve... Melbourne High School's been able to starve Roxburgh College of vision continuously, so they don't have to sweep out because they know vision's not there because Roxburgh can't get there. And now with the inhibitor down, even more pressure on the map. You've pretty much got a permanent ZZ Rapado for the next 3 to 4 minutes. Just pushing down this mid lane, so you can make even more objective plays on that, and that's Melbourne High School's strength. They've been so dominant at it this game.
Yeah, their macro, as you said before, is amazing. It's superb. It's beautiful, and
you don't know how to spell beautiful, do you?
It was a movie quote.
Oh, which movie?
It was the one from Jim. I don't remember. Ace Ventura, I think.
Ace Ventura.
It's
not actually seen the movie. Is it good? But anyway,
they're gonna start Baron, and they do have a Mountain Drake, so they're gonna be able to take it down very quickly, and especially with a Guinsoo's Rage Bladed up Liquid Sandwich, they are gonna have to back away from this one. However, a good ulti, but an even better Black Shield, and oh my god, the amount of damage that Liquid Sandwich is dealing out. Pronom's going to be able to pick up the kill onto Thresh Produce. A good redemption coming out from Synthesize, keeping his tanks alive. Noxious Mad, however, is on the backline, but he's not going to be able to get anyone. The culling dishing out quite a bit of damage. That range is definitely needed on Termes, as he can't get into the range of Miko, or else he is dead.
Yep, and Noxus Might, what he needed to do is he needed to get onto Liquid Sandwich, and he tried so hard, but there was so much peel. You had immediately had 99.95 ATAR turning. You had the Morgana just peeling for the Varus. You had, and then even the Galio. And Noxus Might was not able to do anything. But of course, there's a very risky Baron right here.
No, they're going to be able to secure that fairly easily. The Galio actually picking that one up. Yep. And Venomous is caught out. He's going in the wrong direction. Prono might be able to pick up that one. No, Liquid Sandwich does. That's a KS right there.
No, it's
what even?
Yeah, kill secure. Yeah. 100% a kill secure. He did so much work for it, and he's like, you know what?
Yeah, he skill shot aimed. Well, meanwhile, Thresh Produce is left alone to deal with the super minions, as they're going to be able to take one of the Nexus turrets.
Oh, this is this is Melbourne High School is just running away with this game. It's 35 minutes in. We do have this it just have so much damage, so much siege potential. That's another inhibitor down, and
They're going to back away from this one with 10,000 gold in their pocket.
And I do think that might have been an inhibitor tower dropped, as Nexus tower dropped as well. So just by the Winions alone. So massively from Melbourne High School, they're getting their power spikes. We now have a Mercurial Scimitar from the Varus, that QSS doing so much work in that last team fight, being able to keep him alive and keep Noxus Might off him. You do have what appears to be the fourth item coming out of the gallery, which is going to be the Gargoyle Stoneplate, because he's getting to a point where he's like, okay, my damage isn't cutting it anymore. I need to keep my team alive. My peel is more useful than my damage. And I think that's a really good decision. You do also, so you pretty much have a massive tank lineup, keeping a now hyper carry Varus on alive, away from the clutches of probably the main diver, which is the Renekton. And Noxus Might, you may have almost Flame Horizon your lane opponent, but this is a team game, and your job right now is killing Liquid Sandwich, and he can't do that.
No, he can't. He doesn't have any backup from the rest of his team, however. We have a large amount of peel coming out from Melbourne High School. It's just Noxious Might doesn't have any backup onto that backline. Termes doesn't have the range. Thresh Produce used his ultimate early in the game, and early in the fight, and unfortunately, it didn't have the impact that they needed.
It was black shielded. There was a black shield and Nart, which stopped the ultimate, which was only the Glacial Fissure only hit 99.95.
Dark Binding landing onto the tank. Liquid Sandwich is going to go on a rampage. A really good Hero's Entrance as well. It's going to knock up Termes. He's taking quite a bit of damage, but he's still in the backline. 99.95 ADAR. He is barely staying alive. Termes is forced to flash away from that one. The culling has been used. Venomous on the backline. He's looking for 99, but he's not going to be able to do so, as Synthesize picks up the 5th kill of the game, and Miko is going to go down eventually, but to Termes, but Termes will go down as well to Liquid Sandwich. 80 carry for 80 carry, and they are going to be able to take the 2nd tier turret. They're fighting for this Nexus. Noxious Might really, really wants to keep in this game, but 99.95 ATAR unfortunately goes Meganar, and they are going to be able to take that 50 gold and take that first game.
And there we have it. Melbourne High School just dominating. Oh, the Challenger jacket. Oh my God.
Oh, okay.
Mate.
The IRL
VM, but of course this is a best of 3, so we are going to see some change ups. And right there, we saw Melbourne High School pull off one of the cleanest macro games we've seen. I don't think they even lost a tower.
No, they didn't.
They did not lose a tower.
They didn't lose a tower objective.
They were just unstoppable. They had a few bad team fights. They looked a bit shaky in that mid game, but then they started getting to the point. Sorry, and they. Oh, yep. So so what happened was they just were able to just completely zone out Roxburgh College, just decimate them from like in their strength. Yeah, and it's. Honestly, that's just outstanding that a team, like a high school team, is able to understand macro to that level and just starve a team out. And in the early game, it seemed like somewhat equal. They were both making proactive plays with like small leads, and then just kept on lengthening. And even though Termes had a great performance on the Lucian, he just wasn't able to do enough to go up against this massive team fight team that just didn't even need a team fight.
No, they had heavy engage, especially with the Galio Taunt, the Zac, and the Gnar. It's just the amount of heavy engage that they have. Termes just didn't have the range to deal with it, and because of that, he wasn't able to have a huge impact in those team fights, and it just didn't work out for him.
Yeah, so it's honestly great performance from both teams. But yeah, so great performance from both teams. But of course, it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt to the next game, because this is a best of 3 at the end of the day. So Roxburgh College can come back swinging and do the reverse sweep. So it's just a matter of seeing what they do, what they ban out, how they play. So guys, we're going to go to a break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. This is just getting started.
heard there's one in here, so let's see what we can find. I mean, it's got to be the bookshelf, right? Very good at pinball. I'm a bit scared. So, a cool fact about this Minotaur, it was actually sculpted by the same guy that did Ludo from Labyrinth, which I love. There's a shell from Portal, that's awesome. Overwatch socks. You didn't think you needed them, but you do. Let's go look at some Star Wars stuff. The ever popular backpack Yoda. I'm Luke, I'm training. Okay, well, I think it is definitely time for lunch. Thank you. So this is the first game that Mario ever appeared in, but he was known not as Mario, but Jumpman. Facts, gaming facts. We're back on track, back on track. Oh no! I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you!
Hey, Melbourne.
Do you want to wake up with us?
All of us?
You want the biggest artists,
The best music.
The freshest hits first.
And some old fight.
Yes.
That's non-stop hits.
So you've got Chrissy, Sam and Brownie in the morning.
The best music all day.
Nova's greatest hits workday.
And us, Kate, Tim and Marty for the drive home.
Only on Melbourne's Nova 100.
Love.
love.
Love. Nova.
Get your game on in the JB Hi-Fi Game On Zone. Located in the Function Centre, come over to get first to play access on Marvel's Spider-Man, Tom Clancy's The Division 2, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, plus all the other awesome games. Get exclusive pre-order deals on some of this year's hottest upcoming games. Come over for the Fortnite Free Play Challenge for a chance to win prize packs from Astro, Plantronics, Turtle Beach, Corsair and Sennheiser. Plus, there's free play on all these latest games and stacks more. Get over to the JB Hi-Fi Game On Zone, located in the Function Centre. Open till 5 p.m. Saturday and Sunday.
Well, guys, welcome back. We are ready for game 2 after we saw Melbourne High School just demolish Roxburgh College in a long macro game.
Well, I mean, it wasn't a demolish. Roxburgh College were doing well to stay in the game. It was just unfortunate they didn't have the tools to be able to play up against a team like Melbourne High School and the sort of team comp they were building.
And it's honestly, it was a really good team comp from Melbourne High School. Very reminiscent of what they've been doing this entire tournament, where it's a very team fight oriented, very coordinated, and they were making a lot of proactive plays in the early game and mid game, and they were using teleport to a massive advantage. We saw an amazing Nar flank at one point where they just would immediately just use the hero's entrance from the Galio just to make sure they could just lock down targets and stop their retreat. So really well played from Melbourne High School, being completely on the same page. Roxburgh College, they did have some moments of brilliance though. They turned around some amazing team fights, weathered that storm from, the early engage storm from Melbourne High School, and they turned these fights around. But throughout this entire game, they weren't able to take a single neutral objective.
No, they weren't. No Barons were taken, no Dragons were taken, or Turrets taken by Roxburgh College, and that's just one of the many steps that led them to losing the first game. And unfortunately, Melbourne High School might have to be nerfed, because
well,
oh yeah, speaking of nerfs, I think we have a diva in the crowd, you know, nerf this.
Massive shout out to everyone who's tuning in, of course, and watching live. It is an absolute pleasure to have you guys here. Guys, just give a big warm welcome to your teams once again. Just yell out to them, give them a scream, whatever you want. Let's get some hype going in this building, as these teams these teams are getting ready for the second round. And of course, you have to look at the ban. So of course, Roxburgh College, they were looking for that carry kind of top laner, but 99.95 ATAR, even though he was almost Flame Horizon by the end of the game, it didn't matter because he was pretty much the tank late game. They were just going for these team fights, and they were able to shut down Noxus Might's ability to engage onto the Varus, just get into the Varus and shred the Varus. And so it's Roxburgh College really have to look at kind of where they go from here. They have to like ban out particular comps. They've seen what happens when you give Galio to Miko, when you give Nar to 99.95 ATAR. So they're probably going to try and, if they're on the same sides, they're probably going to try and ban out the Nar, ban out the safer picks, and then go for a heavy counter pick once again. Because Noxus Might has shown that he's comfortable in these carries, and make sure that he doesn't really struggle, make sure he doesn't actually lose lane in the early stage and give up that solo kill. So that's what Roxburgh College have to do. They have to try and stop these heavy team fights that are so successful in Melbourne High School.
Yeah, and it was an interesting game that we saw before. We saw heavy engage coming out from Melbourne High School, and I'm expecting to see it again. If the Oriana isn't banned, I'm expecting it to be picked, because that's the sort of team comp they play. And I mean, I'm expecting it to be banned by Roxburgh College, because they banned it in the first game. They will probably ban it in the second game, because the potential that it has with this team comp, with the players, with the champions that they pick, it's just massive to see what they can do with it.
But one thing I want to see, because we have not seen this yet, Thresh Produce. Is he going to try and pick the Thresh? I want to see some Mad Life plays today, ladies and gentlemen.
His Thresh wasn't banned, but I don't think it mixed in with the team comp they were trying to pick. So, I mean, they did have Lucian. Thresh, according to law, isn't the best person you want to pick in with Lucian.
But Thresh does allow you to play a very good pick kind of comp, and considering how good Melbourne High School are with team fights, what they might want to do is might try and change strategy and go for a kind of a 1-3-1 pick comp or something like that. Try and separate out Melbourne High School, get Melbourne High School on the back foot, playing in a style they don't want to. So they want to split them up, make sure they can't use these amazing team fights that they use so well. Force them to play a different style that they're not as comfortable on, because it was shown that Melbourne High School do have this amazing macro game. They had amazing team fights, but you got to try and find a way to just change that. You got to try and get them off their comfort picks, get them off their comfort comp, and get them playing something otherworldly to them.
Yeah, and I mean, all season, for this entire tournament, we've seen them play team fight comps, And you might not see it come out in this grand final because they want to play comfort. They want to play something that they know how to play very well. But if they had the team fight comp banned out, what should they do? Like, okay, so if they had divers gone, if they had an Orianna or a mid lane anti-mage that was gone, what would they do?
Well, with Melbourne High School, so what they'd probably do, because in the previous game that they did play, we did see like a mid-game kind of like pick kind of comp that did work quite well, had some good disengage if things went wrong, but also had decent engage if things were going right, and they forced plays off that mid-game, and they showed that they were quite good at it. So what you'd probably try and do is rather than like maybe let them get their picks, but try and get a winning laner in the mid lane, winning lane in the top lane, so you force them to match a 1-3-1. But we are well into picks and bans, ladies and gentlemen, and we do have Melbourne High School on the red side, so they have opted for that, and Roxburgh is on the blue side.
And Roxburgh, they've gone for a more team fight comp this time. So they have picked Kai'Sa, Alistar, and Zac, which have 2 heavy tank divers as well. But we do have Melbourne High School has picked in the Varus, again, comfort pick, as well as Gragas and Rakan.
Yep, so the Gragas is a great pickup here because you do have Zac and Alistar who are heavy engage, but Gragas is a good medium. He's got good engage, he's got great disengage, and he's a massive frontline tank. So it's one of those things where if Liquid Sand, if they try to dive into Liquid Sand again, or they try to heavy engage, they do have this explosive cast just to like break everything up and reset the fight. Ultimates will then be used, abilities will be used, summoners will be used, and then they can then pick the fight according to how they want as a counter engage with the Rakan. So I like how the pick and ban is shaping up, but of course with Noxus with Termes looking at the Kai'Sa, if that is a ADC Kai'Sa, this is definitely not an ADC that'll fall off this time.
No, definitely not. And, well, I mean, doesn't have the range, has actually less range than Lucian this time, but has more of an impact, as you said, in towards the late game. And with the amount of team fight that Roxburgh have, as we can see, this Kai'Sa will be a lot more impactful. And looking at the bans right now, there is a lot of target bans going over to 99.95 ATAR. Poppy's been banned out, Nar's been banned out, Jace has been banned out. But it's even more on the side of Melbourne High School. Renekton, Jax, Aatrox, Darius.
Even Hecarim top we've seen.
Yeah, okay, it does
he does work. He's better jungle, but he does still work in that top lane.
He does.
So,
Dr. Mundo! He's been taken up in this top side as well. Urgot against that one.
So, Dr. Mundo is a very, very strong pick right now. You need, in the past you just need Grievous Wounds to shut him down. Now you need Grievous Wounds just to manage him. But the Urgot is a very good pick because that execute, the ultimate already makes Mundo a lot weaker at the very beginning, and it can get him into execute range for Urgot. So you have to be very careful of when you proc your ultimate now. So I like this counter pick from Noxus Smite, and once again they've allowed for this kind of pick here, but we do see a very off-meta pick in this mid lane.
So I haven't seen Diana in a long time, but this Diana is going into the mid lane, and we still don't know who Miko is going to play into this. It may be a Gragas jungle, or maybe a Gragas mid. I haven't seen a Gragas mid in a long time as well.
No, it's
it's an Orianna.
Tried and tested.
Yeah, tried and tested by well, I mean, not by Miko. Last time we saw Orianna was Voice of Voiceless, but they have swapped Miko in for Voice of Voiceless now, and Miko, I mean, it's still, as I was saying, Melbourne High School, they're going to pick Orianna if it's not banned.
Oh, without a doubt. Honestly, it's a great team fight. They've got a good ball delivery system in both Synthesize and Pronom on their champions. They've got a really good team fight with Liquid Sand, and when you have a Mundo running at you, you're in for a lot of trouble. He can just withstand so much damage even when you're barreling down on him, and if a Mundo gets ahead, you are in a lot of trouble. So we're going to see a lot of expectations on Noxus Smite to be able to shut down 99.95 ATAR, which we saw last game he wasn't able to do even with a soft counter.
Yeah, and it's sort of like these teams have swapped roles now. We do see Roxburgh College have more of a team fight sort of orientated comp, but we do see Melbourne have picked up a sort of more I wouldn't say lane dominant, but it's not necessarily team comp compared to Roxburgh.
Oh, without a doubt. But we still do have that kind of we do still have engage possibilities coming from like Rakan. We still do have engage possibilities coming from Gragas. You still do have that shockwave coming out of the Ariana. So there's still the team fight there, but they haven't gone for it. Last game they were just a heavy engage, force these fights when Meganar is up. But of course, they've instead opted for a bit of a different style, considering that you've got the Alistair on the on Roxburgh, you've got you've pretty much got a lot. You've got the Zac, you've got a lot of engage. So they've gone for a bit of a bit of a safer kind of choice with the Gragas there being this massive disengage tool. So.
Yeah. And we're going to head straight into the second game. Roxburgh College are going to be on the blue side, and it's going to be a standard start again. Nothing happening. It's going to be a pause happening.
We do have a small pause here happening. And of course, if we look at everything across the board, so it does appear that there might be a technical issue there. So we are just waiting to hear what happens. But of course, looking at both sides, if we look at the actual matchup, so Mundo into Urgot, I do believe Urgot does have that advantage early. But Pulse 6, Mundo has to be pretty careful, making sure he doesn't pop the ultimate at the wrong time for the Urgot execute. And unless the Urgot can get the execute off, I do believe that matchup does go in favor of the Mundo, simply because of the amount of damage he can output, and his healing outdoes the shield on the Urgot. So it's all about like timing and a bit of a skill matchup there as to who will win. But pre-6, it is definitely in favor of the Urgot, which is a bully lane. But Mundo is just reliant on nullifying that lane. But of course, it's very interesting to see this Diana. So this Diana is going to have a very hard time into the Orianna due to the melee into Orianna matchup. But post 6, you have a lot of damage coming out of Diana. You do have amazing gap closers, ability to just continually stick to your target, and incredible damage coming out. And even though Electrocute did get nerfed, even though Electrocute did get nerfed, you do have this insane amount of damage coming out. And we have just been informed there was an issue with one of the PCs, so they are restarting the PC now. They're hoping to get back into it. It's not going to be too much of an issue. And yeah, it's just a hang loose, guys. We're not going anywhere.
Well, yeah. Okay, so I'm sort of interested in as to why Akali hasn't been picked yet. This is the patch 8.16 where Akali is huge. So it's sort of different to see that they're not playing these pick sort of team comps. So we do have Thresh, Produce, not playing Thresh. Akali hasn't been picked. It's just interesting to see. Why not?
Well, it might be the fact that Akali is still somewhat fresh, so people haven't fully gotten a hold of it. And considering the majority of the tournament, even when Akali was in the game, you weren't allowed to pick Akali. So people probably didn't practice it and stuck to comps. And then considering that these people have other things in their schedules, maybe Akali doesn't work into any comps that they might have, or might not be proficient enough to, say, pick it over something like the Diana. So that's probably the main reasoning behind why you wouldn't pick Akali in this game.
But we are hopefully getting right back into it.
It's just a casual way. So guys, we unfortunately cannot see the crowd from here, but it'd be a wonderful thing if you guys could do a Mexican wave. I think that'd be great to see. But of course, it's thank you guys for just tuning in and being here, and massive shout out once again to all the people involved in organizing it. You guys have done an amazing job, and to have it in a tournament like this, it's just insane. But we are getting back into this, so there's nothing really out of the ordinary that I can see in the start, aside from maybe a corrupting pot star on Miko instead of your standard Doran's ring, but that's not too out of the ordinary.
Especially into Diana, who's got a lot of heavy engage and quite a bit of poke. So, I mean, Venomous on Diana at level 3 can potentially burst Miko. Even though Electrocute had been nerfed, it still helps dish out quite a bit of damage, especially against squishies like Orianna in lane. And Diana can be dominant in lane if she's not poked out.
Yeah, and especially because you do have the Ignite, so that is a lot of burst damage that you won't see coming. Miko has gone for the Airy instead, and the Teleport, so is probably going to go for a safer lane, which is what Ariana wants to do, because Ariana does neutralize a lot of these lanes. And this is actually the Ariana counterpick, so we have to assume that Miko is very comfortable in this kind of matchup.
Well, yeah, Miko needs to... We've seen the mid laners from Melbourne High School. They play Orianna quite well. And it's not necessarily the carry Orianna that they've picked. It's more of a support sort of role as an Orianna shielder. Or just a poker. They don't carry, but they don't feed.
So, what happened in the jungle that we didn't really touch on is the fact that the Pronom actually did start the top side on the red buff as opposed to the blue buff, and this allowed his ADC and support to get the early push in that bot lane and get that level advantage, so he can just poke out Termes and Thresh Produce and just get that CS lead and get them on a tower and force them to lose CS. So, I do like that start. It does mean it's a bit of an unhealthier clear, but in this case it can be quite advantageous. But it looks like the Zack's foregone the blue buff to go for the Scuttle first to try and just make sure that he doesn't get a... Oh, does look like it's just Scuttle control, but of course Pronom's gone for a double buff start already.
Yeah, Pronom is also going for the Scuttle as well, so he is ahead. Well, he's sort of even right now.
They're fairly even.
Yeah, they're fairly even. But Venomous is getting poked out, and this is not necessarily the position he wants to be in, but he's not doing too badly as well. Meanwhile, we do have Pronom coming in towards the mid lane, walking, trundling. He may be looking for Venomous, but he's not going to be able to do it. A good back coming out from Venomous, as he's just going to stand there and slightly BM.
Yeah, so it's... And here's the problem with your melee matchup into an Orianna, is that you can just get poked out so hard. And what this does is it means that Venomous has to play safe, because if he goes in for the all-in, even though his all-in does more damage, the fact that he's less than half, or the fact that he's half health and chugged all his pots, means that he's going to struggle.
But Pronom, he's going to dash into Thresh Produce. A flash coming out as well. Termes dishing out quite a bit of damage to Liquid Sandwich, but he's going to have to force to back away from this one. Meanwhile, Surveillance is just around the corner, waiting for that Elastic Slingshot, but he is just going to back away.
So we have seen Pronom just show up twice in lane.
Oh no, he's charging it up. Gragas is back though. Is he going to take it? No, he's not. He's just going to walk away. Maybe look to take his Krugs.
And the fact that they saw the ward just be freshly placed in there on both sides, they both know that the junglers are down here. Zack has keep himself hidden, so they do know where he is. They can start tracking him as well. But of course, Pronom has been very proactive so far in this game. He's been able to pressure in mid. He's been able to get even just a pressure advantage there. They've been able to burn the flash from the Alistar, who does have Hex Flash, so it's not a massive issue. But this does burn a potentially large game or playmaking tool from the Alistar, which it's with an Ignite on the Alistar, that is definitely something that you want to have this kill pressure. You want to be able to just shut them down.
But we do see Noxus Might, he's playing very careful. He pushed up knowing that Pronom was in the bot lane, but now has both brushes warded, making sure that he stays safe, but still pushing.
Look at this top lane. So here's what Mundo's really good at. He's good at just nullifying this lane and just farming up, because he gets that mid game and he's just untouchable. It's a very heavy farm lane so far. They both have almost 40 CS at 5 minutes, so they're doing a fabulous job of just CSing. But of course, with the Mundo having the push up, he's got to be very careful that he doesn't get ganked. So, and with the Zack probably going for that topside jungle, they're probably going to be able to predict. So, we're going to see a lot of mind games in this early game with the junglers, and Pronom so far has shown that he's a bit more proactive and he has had a bit of an advantage with these ganks. So, it's definitely going to be a key point on these junglers if nothing happens in lane.
Yeah, but he has picked up the Bambi Cinder, so that's going to be a little bit of extra clear on his side as well. A little bit of poke on the Venomous is not going to look good, but he does.
He missed the cannon, I think.
Quite a bit of it though.
I think he missed the cannon there. That's heartbreaking.
Oh no, Venomous. Miko is just wreaking havoc in this mid lane, just pushing him out. He's stopping him CSing quite a bit, but Venomous is actually doing quite well in CSing regarding, I mean, even if it's a losing matchup right now, he's still doing really well in staying up in the CS.
Oh, definitely. He's doing a fabulous job. And with the Sheen, he does have quite a powerful power spike, and he does have the level 6 now. So if he's going to go for an all-in, now would be the time. He'd probably want to, after the... Oh, actually, if you look at the mini-map, the Zac is actually posturing top, while Pronom is posturing bot side.
Yeah, but he's going to get spotted out by Ward, Pronom. And he's just going to have to back away from this one. Both Termies and Thresh Produce know that they're bot side. Yeah, know that Pronom's bot side. That's when Surveillance went up topside. And they may be looking for something on 99.95 ATAR. He does have his ulti ups, however. But Pronom may be looking for something in the mid lane.
Yeah, but of course, it's oh no.
Oh, that happened. That's what that sound was. First blood going over to Noxious Might. 99.95 ATAR had popped the ulti as well, so that is going to be an essential ability gone down.
As a shout out to a fellow caster, Iatos would say, "Get in my belly." And so there we have it. And I did say that this was the main thing that you have to worry about as the Mundo into the Urgot. So Urgot's execute is perfect dealing with the Mundo, who already will be low health when he pops the ultimate because of the damage it does to himself. So really well done there. Of course, we do see the flat health being picked up as well as armor. So as you have the Balmy Cinder and the double cloth armor coming from Mundo, so he is trying to just weather this storm. But of course, let's face the facts. Mundo doesn't need to build damage.
No,
he's just Mundo. He just runs at you and you die.
Yeah, he tanks, but he also dishes out damage. Even though you're not trying to dish out damage, you still dish out damage. And Liquid Sandwich right now is just building sustain. He has got a Vampiric Scepter and is just looking to heal up every single amount of damage that Termes wants to dish out, as well as Thresh Produce.
Yep. Whereas Termes is actually going for that Berserker Greave, so he actually will have quite a bit of a potential wave clear, and actually can get that proc on his passive very quickly as well. So I do actually quite like this this pickup, considering how fast he would be able to get those procs, and considering that's his main source of his damage in the early game.
The question in this mid lane, however, is Venomous able to fight Miko in a full burst? Will Venomous be able to burst down Miko if he does get the jump on?
Well, considering that Miko still has full health, 3 corrupting pot stacks, and a Catalyst of Eons, he's got quite a bit of sustain and quite a bit of tankiness. So I do think it does go in favor of Miko. But of course, the junglers have so much impact in these lanes, and that. Yeah, so sorry, I just thought I saw the shockwave cooldown happen, but it's just like whenever he moves the ball. I was getting really excited there for a second. I'm just like watching the mini-map, something happened. But it's all about when they decide to pull the trigger. They need to get Venomous rolling. And with the Ignite and the Electrocute, and with Surveillance having so much range with the Elastic Slingshot, it seems like a perfect ganking opportunity if Miko decides to be over-aggressive. But Pronom's been such a big threat all across the map so far that they're worried about him doing that counter gank, because a Gragas counter gank is so strong.
It's very dangerous, especially with the exploding casket. And I mean, Pronom is, as you said, has been very proactive. Unfortunately, he hasn't gotten anything from it yet. He's giving his blue buff over to his mid laner, which is actually really good for Miko as well, because he's going to be able to back, reset, and be able to poke out Venomous even more than he's doing right now.
And with a 20 CS lead, with the teleport available, he will be able to get the majority of this wave, minus just probably 2 melee minions. So this is quite good. He does have the Rod of Age as well, so extra tankiness. But it looks like we might just have a bit of a fest down in bot lane.
Yeah, he's charging at the slingshot. Surveillance is going in on the Rakan. He's not going to be able to do anything. In comes the counter gank coming out from Pronom. A really good ultimate coming out from Varus. And the combo from Rakan. He's going to be able to dish out a lot of damage. Synthesize goes down to Thresh Produce. He's very tanky right now. That's the ultimate coming into play. Pronom is taking quite a bit of damage. One more auto attack should do it. One more. Termes picks up the kill into Pronom as he does use that auto attack, and they're going to be able to do a 2-for-0 trade.
Roxburgh College with the plays, Thresh Produce with the ultimate, so much damage reduction, and it looks like Venomous tried to do something cheeky in mid lane, but Miko was able to survive it out, popping all 3 corrupting pots, so he'll come back up to a decent health range. But of course, with this advantage in this bot lane, with this massive kill in the bot lane, they're going to be able to pick up a free Mountain Drake. So it does look like the tables might be turned here.
Yeah, they are going to be able to pick up the first Mountain Drake of the game, and this is going to be Roxburgh ahead for the first time in this series, and this is actually a good turnaround from Roxburgh. They have the counter, and Urgot is going ham. Dr. Mundo does have his ulti, but so does Noxious Might.
Yep. So, and not honestly, 99.95 ATAR, he has to be careful when he pops the ultimate, because Noxious Might can just counter that immediately with his own ultimate. He has
just used it.
He just used it, so he's like, I'm not gonna get in that threshold. You have to back up. And here's the advantage with Noxious Might, especially when he gets that Black Cleaver. He can just keep on shredding Mundo and keep Mundo under wraps. And honestly, an Urgot getting pressure is such a painful thing to deal with.
He's really looking to take a fight onto 99.95. Noxious Might throws him over the shoulder. A flash coming out. A great dodge coming out from 99.95. ATAR. Will he be able to escape? He does as Pronom comes in to secure the kill.
Amazing play right there. They were able to bait out the ultimate. They were able to bait in Noxious Might, and of course he fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. We see the flash.
You punny.
And he was able to flash over the ultimate, and oh no.
Thresh Produce, a really good disengage coming out from Synthesize, however, as they're going to be able to back away from this one. Good chains of corruption. However, Zach taking quite a bit of damage. Surveillance forced to use the ulti to back away from that one.
Yep, so really good right there. They were able to burn the quickening from Synthesize, but they weren't really able to burn much else, and Terminus actually had to burn his heal during that, so not exactly optimal for them.
Meanwhile, Pronoms doesn't have the flash up, so that was ambitious, but...
Very ambitious.
Yeah, it was very ambitious, but they do... Venomous is able to back away from this one, unscathed. He is down quite a bit in CS, though. He does have the Sheen, he has the Amplifying Tomb, but that's nothing compared to the amount of damage and the items, the Rod of Ages and the Amplifying Tomb that Miko has.
Yep, so here's the key thing that Roxburgh is facing. They got this amazing star in the bot lane, and they're only able to get a Mountain Drake. And even with this lead in the top lane, and even with this lead in the bot lane, they don't actually have a gold lead. Gold is roughly equal. It's only 200 gold apart. But of course, with all that's happened, Kai'Sa has got the Storm Razor. So Storm Razor, massive power spike. So if we look at the gold difference across the board, 700 in the top lane, roughly equal in the jungle, and then 700 in the mid lane. And that is why it's only the gold difference only between the ADCs, simply because of that skirmish down there. But that only brings us 200 gold. And with now a Storm Razor picked up for Termes, he gets this early power spike, which is quite strong.
Whoa, we just missed a lot of action in the bot lane. Termes picking up a kill onto Liquid Sandwich. Do not know where Synthesize was for that one.
Yep, so here's the problem with roaming when your enemy has an Alistar. The Alistar has such great playmaking potential.
Oh, as you were saying, Synthesize gets capitalized on as Venomous picks up the kill.
So I'm not sure, but that was a bit of a miscommunication. They said
he moved fast.
They know people were missing from lane, and of course Synthesize decided to stay for too long. He didn't use his grand entrance out. He didn't use his quickening either. He had unfortunately just gave up the kill to the to Roxburgh, and Roxburgh are coming out really strong here, and they might just get first tower as well off the back of all this.
And they are pulling further and further ahead. They are looking to take down this first tier turret up the top lane. No, bot lane, sorry. Thresh Produce headbutting one of the minions.
Yep, amazing headbutt right there, showing that dominance, showing the BM, and Thresh Produce is here to make a statement. I don't need my headbutt to deal with you. But of course, with two lanes winning now, they've got the top and the bot lane winning for Roxburgh, so this could be where they just turn it around.
Oh, Noxious Might taking quite a bit of damage. Pronom is here as well. He throws 99.95 over his shoulder, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to do anything with it, and he goes down.
Yes, and of course, this can be quite problematic, because we do know that the Mundo has quite a high AD stat, so he can actually get a lot of damage on this tower. But of course, with Surveillance up here in the top lane, he is just looking to just contest this Rift Herald. He knows it's going to happen, because they saw that they weren't going for that tower, and they wouldn't be able to get in time, so they're instead going for an objective they can possibly get in the time that is not up.
Yeah, but they are looking to take that Rift Herald. Surveillance isn't able to do much. He doesn't have much health as well to be able to contest this. 99.95 ATAR has quite a bit of health on his side. He's also got the Brambles Vest and the Bambi Cinder, so he's actually quite dangerous. So, he actually goes all the way in. Noxious Might. Surveillance taking quite a bit of damage. Thresh Produce on the backline. The quickening has been used, but we do see Kaisa going in on the backline. Shockwave 3-man as Termes goes on a killing spree. 99.95 ATAR. Ultimate has been used, and he is running for his life. Knockup has been used. Liquid Sandwich onto Thresh Produce, and Zac Blobs have been used. Venomous is going to be able to secure the kill onto 99.95 ATAR, and Zac is going to be able to escape from that one.
So really well played right there. They're able to get the engage they wanted, get the champions they wanted to, and just keep on damaging them out. They have the lead, they have the team fights, and of course they can get the Rift Herald off the back of this as well. This can stop ballooning this lead. It's a 1,500 gold lead, and with the Rift Herald as well, that's another tower. Top lane is almost taken out as well. So you potentially have a 3-tower lead in the next five or so minutes. So really aggressive play from Roxburgh College, and it's definitely paying off. They're playing quite well, and Termes, who was a saving grace for them last game, is definitely showing some vigor this game. And Surveillance he's definitely being a lot more proactive, and he's making a lot more impact this game as well.
Yeah, he definitely is. And there's a second Mountain Drake coming out, and Roxburgh College are definitely looking for this one. I mean, both teams are. But Roxburgh College, with one Mountain Drake under their belt, could go for another one and potentially take this game away. They have one turret under their belt, and they really want to take some more.
Oh, it's definitely everything opted for the lane swap. So what the lane swap does is it forces it pretty much allows for the winning lane matchup in the bot lane, your ADC and your support, to go top lane and force down that top tower. And the other team has to match that, with their bot lane. Otherwise, their top lane just gets decked as well. And it's because your bot lane's already winning. It just means they're just going to be able to get that top tower that much faster, and it allows them to not push as far into enemy territory. What this does do, however, considering they haven't taken the the Mountain Drake, is just mean that they potentially could give that up, but immediately they're shoving in bot lane and then they're rotating for it. So really well played for Roxburgh College. They're definitely playing a very solid macro game right now. And Termes,
he gets a proc, but a really good Chains of Corruption disengages onto that one. Teleport coming out from... Oh, we have yet to see a teleport coming out from 99.95 ATAR as Termes and Thresh Produce are forced to back away. Really good disengage from Thresh as he headbutts the Pronome, but they are now looking. Explosive Casket has been used on the Thresh Produce, and he is now stuck between a rock and a hard place. He does disengage. Liquid Sandwich goes really low. Noxious Might is going to be able to secure 2 kills in the mid lane with Rift Herald. They have to disengage, protect that second tier turret, and somehow, through all of that, Thresh Produce survived.
I am surprised about that. They were able to keep Liquid Sand off Thresh Produce simply because of the damage threat that was coming in. And of course, in the meantime, they dropped the Rift Herald
Liquid Sandwich is going to be able to pick up the support, but a really good trade as Termes picks up Liquid Sandwich. However, in this mid lane, 99.95 ATAR is taking quite a bit of damage. He's forced to back away from this one as Venomous doesn't have any mana to do anything.
And there we have it. 20 minutes, 5 towers to 0. Roxburgh College have busted this game wide open. 5,000 gold lead. That was the Rift Herald of Rift Herald. 3 towers in the mid lane. They were able to pick up the Ariana as well. It looked so disadvantageous in the top lane, but in the meantime, Roxburgh's like, you know what? Let's cut our losses. Let's run it down mid. And the Tyler 1 strat does actually work. You look at this gold lead. 1,500 gold in the top lane. You have this massive 2,000 gold lead in the ADC position with Termes just absolutely on fire right now. In the mid lane, we've got that now a gold advantage to Venomous on the Diana. So this is a complete turnaround for the mid lane even, considering all the objectives they've got in their back pocket. And with the double Mountain Drake, the sieging is going to be so strong, and they're going to be able to rush down the Baron as well if they get the lane pressure for it.
Yeah, and we have yet to see. I mean, Roxburgh College are doing really well in staying ahead, making sure they capitalize on their lead, but I have yet to see Venomous doing something on Diana, securing... I mean, he's got 2 kills under his belt, but I haven't really seen him do the traditional Diana burst a carry.
Oh, that... I've personally witnessed someone, they were in the bush, they completely missed a point blank Q, and then they just ultimate and burst the champion. It was the most terrifying thing to watch.
But Roxburgh, they are going to start Baron, and there is no vision. Melbourne High School have no vision on this Baron. There's 2 control wards in that Baron pit, making sure that there are no hidden wards in there.
None at all. And of course, this is a easy Baron, honestly, with those 2 Mountain Drakes doing so much extra objective damage. And they've got bot lane pushing in their favor. They do have I do believe top lane's pushing in their favor as well, and with the cannon minion running it down mid, this is going to be a free inhibitor by the looks of it.
Yeah, all they have to do is hold this position, make sure that their cannon minion stays alive, and that is an inhibitor. First inhibitor going over to Roxburgh. They have completely turned this around from game 1, and they are now in control of the pace of the game. They're now in control of the entire game, and they're now rotating to bot lane to take down the 2nd tier turret. Meanwhile, Melbourne High School can't do anything except for turtle.
So that is the T word we both hate to hear. But of course,
Hex Flash.
Hex Flash just for style points, maybe?
Well, I mean, Thresh Produce, oh! He goes all the way in. 99.95 HR on the backline. He's taking quite a bit of damage. Massive 4-man shockwave. They're going on the backline. Zach bringing in a massive tank in with him. Surveillance not doing much though. However, Termes is going unstoppable. Picked up another one. Surveillance really low. He does not have his passive, I believe. Meanwhile, Termes is on the backline. Noxious Smite taken down by Miko. Surveillance going all the way. I was wrong. He does have his passive. Not exactly sure what he was doing there though.
A bit of a miscommunication probably. Termes did not have the ultimate to be able to follow up and was already low. Would probably get bursted down as well. But of course, amazing engage right there from Melbourne High School. And they use what their team is good at. A team fight comp to a certain extent. With the shockwave, with the chains of corruption, and with the quickening from Synthesize. So if they get what they need with the engage, they can do absolutely tremendous. But even after all that, Termes does not go down. He has a 3,000 gold lead. They now have 6 towers to nothing. They still have Baron on 2 members, I believe, which is Thresh Produce and Termes. Yeah, Thresh Produce and Termes, I do believe. So
we have yet to see. No, they have 3 members still alive with the Baron buff. So Venomous went down. Surveillance went down.
Did Noxious Might not go down?
I believe Noxious Might does still have Baron buff. We'll check that out.
We're about to see, but of course
he doesn't.
It doesn't. See, I told you.
Oh,
I told you. I'm always right.
But they still do have Baron
colorcaster.
buff, and be quiet. They still do have Baron buff, and I mean they can still use it to their advantage. They have 2 Mountain Drakes on their side, so a siege is definitely what they will still want to do. All they have to do is just have a better team fight.
And this seems to be the shortcoming of both teams. They get over aggressive. They decide, you know what, we can force this. And it happened to Melbourne High School last time where they weren't able to force it. But of course, the roles are reversed. We do have so far a perfect macro game coming from Roxburgh College. They're just pushing in things and pushing in towers left, right, and center. They're pushing in lanes. They do have pressure with the inhibitor open in the mid lane. That means they do get free control of the map with so much pressure. And they know there's no vision here because
they haven't been able to push up that far.
Exactly. Melbourne High School is just being... It's literally just the turnaround of game 1. Roxburgh College is now the aggressor. They're now the controllers of this game. And Melbourne High School are getting a taste of their own medicine, and they are not liking it.
No, Liquid Sandwich is so far behind, but we do see Termes. He's going ham. Shockwave landing. He's going to go down so quickly. Actually, no, he doesn't. Oh, no, he does. A really good flash coming out, but an even better secure the kill auto attack coming out from Miko, as he's going to be able to secure the kill onto the AD carry, and now that's the carry gone.
Yeah, and right there, the shutdown. And it's really good that it's onto Miko as well. He is able to then pick up... survive a lot of that burst coming from Venomous if he times it correctly. So this is really good. That is twice now they've gone for that bottom inhibitor tower, and twice they have failed. So Melbourne High School are definitely
turtling.
Turtling, yes. God damn it.
Well, unfortunately, we're gonna see a lot of turtling coming out from Melbourne High School, because if they're not ahead, they're coming back. Look, their gold difference was 6,000 before. Now it's 4,000. There's only 4,000 gold difference between these 2 teams, and Liquid Sandwich is so far behind. he's an item behind, unfortunately, and you can see it in the wave clear that he has. He's bought the Runan's Hurricane to make up for that, as well as a team fight that Melbourne High School are best at. But he just doesn't have the amount of damage that he needs to be a Varus at this point in the game, or a Varus that has an impact.
Yeah, so if we look across the map so far, so we're seeing power spikes being hit. Suddenly, we do have the Iceborne Gauntlet coming from the from Pronom, so that is a bit more burst that is potentially coming out. He does have a lot of cooldown reduction as well. It's 30% cooldown reduction if he's not running Transcendence. If he is, it's 40%. So he can definitely put out some disengage. He can definitely use his ultimate more often. And with the Iceborne Gauntlet, you do have that Spellblade proc, so he has more damage, more slow with his autos. We look at the supports. We do have that Zeke's Convergence. Now, Zeke's Convergence is a somewhat underrated item that pros have been using to great effect. And it's great on those champions that you open up with your ultimate. So what it does is it links to your AD carry, or it links to a champion of your choice. And when you use your ultimate, their auto attacks become empowered with Frost Bolts, which do extra damage and slow. So it's a great power spike.
Oh, but they do try and capitalize onto 99.95 ATAR. He's forced to flash away from that one. They do manage to catch him out. And, I mean, good flash, but an even better catch out.
So what this does mean is that 99.95 ATAR has to be more careful for the next 5 or so minutes. As he waits for his flash to come back up, he still does have his ultimate, though. So that is great potential for him to just escape or to just face tank a lot of damage. But the more this game stalls, the more in favor it goes to Melbourne High School, because 4,000 gold, a difference at 25 minutes, is nowhere is an advantageous position. 4,000 gold at 40 minutes, not so much. So Melbourne High School just need to stall this game out. Need to get Liquid Sand back online, get him to those 3-item power spikes, 4-item power spikes, get to late game Varus. And with that superior range, he can then just shred from the back line. They do have a good disengage. They keep Venomous off Liquid Sand. And Liquid Sand was a massive part of their damage in the last game. And as long as he can just be able to free hit, that's not going to change.
Oh, but they might actually get a free Baron. They don't have, well, they do have vision, but that's going to be cleared so quickly. And look, it's just the jungler and the AD carry. Meanwhile, in this choke point, they're going to be able to take a lot of damage. Venomous taking quite a bit. However, Termes is going to be able to pick up the massive tank as he goes down. Pronom on the side. Synthesize isn't going to be able to pick up anyone, and he is now on the wrong side of the river. Double kill going over to Termes, and they have turned this completely around. 12 and 8, and they are looking to push down this mid lane and look for a potential end.
It's the caster's curse, my friend. When we say Melbourne High School, they're doing things right, they're stalling out the game. Next thing you know, Baron take. Terrible team fight from Melbourne High School as they trade two for nothing, and with a fully Baroned up team, and with a lane pushing in their favor, they can get the inhibitor again, and they can try and maybe take down a Nexus Tower as well.
They do have 2 Mountain Drakes on their side, and they can definitely go for a team fight because they're pretty far ahead. A good engage, but a really questionable flash. Shockwave landing on the 2 members. A really good suppression. Ulti coming out from Noxus Might, but unfortunately, that's not going to stop anything. And it is a 1-for-1 game between these two. Roxburgh College picking up the second game.
And Roxburgh College, we counted them out, but no, they are not. They are coming back swinging. They have come back into the second round, all guns blazing, saying like, you know what, Melbourne High School, you may have gone 10-0 in the regular season. You may have just starved us out in the first game, but we are fighting. We are not going to back down. We are going to push you to your limit. And this is the first time we've seen Melbourne High School lose. Can they finish them off in this next game?
We have yet to see. This is definitely...
this finally a series.
Yeah, this shows why they're in the finals. They can definitely play at the standard of Melbourne High School. And the underdogs might not be underdogs. I mean, okay, they're still underdogs.
They're still underdogs, but it's one of those things where it's Rocky Balboa, Apollo Creed. You see like the technique of Apollo Creed just coming out. Then as the game goes, as the fight goes on, Rocky comes into his stride. He's able to weather those hits, and he's able to just punch back harder and harder and harder. And Creed's like, I might actually lose this.
Yeah.
This is exactly what that's like.
Yeah, and it's Yeah, so we're going to take a short break again. Both teams going into game 3. And it'll be so interesting how they're going to play this out. But we'll be back right after the short break.
Yeah, guys, do not go anywhere. Massive shout out to everyone in the crowd. But guys, it's getting hyped.
Now, I am a sucker for a hidden entrance, and I've heard there's one in here. I mean, it's... very good at pinball, I'm a bit scared. Overwatch socks. You didn't think you needed them, but you do. Let's go look at some Star Wars stuff. I'm Luke. I'm training. Okay. It's definitely time for lunch. Thank you. I see you.
Hey, Melbourne.
Do you want to wake up with us?
All of us?
You want the biggest artist.
The best music.
The freshest hits first.
And some old fave.
Yes.
That's non-stop hits.
So you've got Chrissy, Sam and Brownie in the morning.
The best music all day.
Nova's greatest hits workday.
And us, Kate, Tim and Marty for the drive home.
Only on Melbourne's Nova 100.
Love.
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 Love Nova.
Keen for some awesome prizes, giveaways and special deals? Then head over to the JB Hi-Fi Game On Zone. Located in the Function Centre, get exclusive pre-order deals on some of this year's hottest upcoming games. Come over for the Fortnite Free Play Challenge for a chance to win prize packs from Astro, Plantronics, Turtle Beach, Corsair and Sennheiser. Plus, there's heaps of other deals and show giveaways for Melbourne esports fans. JB Hi-Fi Game On Zone, located in the Function Centre. Open till 5 p.m. Saturday and Sunday.
Well, guys, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. It is Game 3 of the Victorian High School E-League Grand Finals.
The 2 games between... I did that terribly. Hold on.
You ruined it. You ruined it.
Okay.
Guys, so it is the Grand Finals. It is, honestly, it's an absolutely amazing series. We saw amazing macro games from both Roxburgh College and Melbourne High School. They both perfect game them objective-wise, each other, and they did an absolutely fantastic job of it. It's honestly, I honestly did not expect Roxburgh College to come out swinging like that, and they have proved me wrong, and I am glad for it. This has shown that gods can bleed. Melbourne High School actually have a loss.
They do. They have a loss under their belt, and whoa, that is interesting. It's so interesting to see it. Like,
it's
you wouldn't expect it after the 10-0.
It's 10-0 season. Yeah, they've just been absolutely unstoppable. And of course, we have to like give a massive shout out to Termes. Termes was an absolute god in both games, and we saw Liquid Sandwich. He got Varus, his comfort pick, both games first picked. So he's like, yep, cool. I feel confident in this, and he got shut down hard in that second game. He had this amazing lane matchup, but of course things didn't work how they wanted. And then Roxburgh College were just in the driver's seat from start to finish. They had a few hiccups here and there, just like Melbourne High School did in their first game, but they still came out on top. They still decimated. They still dominated. They still just starved them out. And this is definitely how it works. And we're, as always, from 99.95 ATAR, we are getting. Do we get the Wiggles fingers again?
It was the Wiggle fingers. It was a bit of a shazam.
Yeah, a bit of a shazam.
Yeah, but remember this, guys. These players are in high school.
We're seeing this level of macro play, this level of teamwork, this level of cooperation and just commitment from high school players.
And one of them's a challenger. Has a challenger jacket.
That means he's been challenger for a couple years. I do believe challenger jacket was from like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it just shows the level of competition available. It's there. This is the future of esports. OC, like we already have Lost in NALCS. He's an import in NALCS, and you still have people like Surenfire in OC, and it's amazing that this is the talent that's coming up. Honestly, OC is going to make its mark on the map. We've won an international tournament in the wildcard region, but yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, and we do see we're going to head right into the pick and ban phase, and no target bans, however. There's a Darius and Hecarim coming out from Melbourne High School, but Morgana and Poppy have been taken away by Roxburgh. Kaisa, however.
There we go.
There we go.
So
sorry, Termes.
They know Termes is a threat. They saw it in Game 1, they saw it in Game 2, but they didn't respect enough. They just put all their bans into that top lane, trying to get 99.95 ATAR, an advantageous matchup. And honestly, in Game 2, it didn't work out how they wanted it to. And with Termes was just able to say, okay, guys, I've got a backpack. I might need some help with it, but you guys can probably get into most of the one. Yeah, can get in most of the trip. But of course, it's
not an AD carry first pick this time.
No, so
Alistar support.
So what this means is instead of just blind picking the Varus, they might actually go for a counter pick ADC. So they do get the first pick, but they don't get the last pick. So it means that one of the lanes might be counter picked, which is great from red side, but you can prioritize better on the blue side. And so far this game we've seen a win, well, both teams win on blue side.
First pick Urgot. Okay, so that is interesting. It's not counter to anything because we haven't seen what top lane is picking.
Well, the thing with Urgot though is we have actually seen in OPL Urgot go mid, and Urgot's very much a pressure lane dominant harass pick, and he scales really decently as a tank that does damage, and he can pretty much just continually apply pressure in the game and get that and pretty much just get that kill pressure with that American sniper kind of execute. So the potential is there definitely, but we do have Surveillance getting his Zac again. So Zac has a 100% win rate today. He won in Game 1 in Melbourne High School. He won in Game 2 on Roxburgh College, and Surveillance he's like, you know what? This felt really good. We've had a really nice engage comp. Why not go for it again?
True. And they are going to lock in the Swain as well for Miko, I believe. if not for 99.95 ATAR.
So it does so far appear to be picks that we've seen before, very contested picks that are working. But are we going to see some cheese? Are we going to see some cheddar just mixed in here with these crackers?
Cheddar.
Cheddar, yeah, go with cheddar.
Cheddar.
Would you like some maybe blue vein cheese?
That's not nice. It smells bad.
Blue vein cheese is actually interesting how they make it. I can go into it if you want. But of course, we do. Oh,
again.
Yes,
it's the
we do.
Diana into Swain this time, not the Oriana comfort pit for Miko. They've changed it up.
And Swain is definitely one of those champions that's more of a battle mage. But of course, you do have to be careful of the sheer amount of bursting come out of Diana. So Swain does have quite a bit of poke, does have quite a bit of sustain in that laning phase. But with the Diana, once again, you have that ignite, you have the electrocute, and Miko's definitely opted for the teleport even with the Oriana, which does seem a bit weird. So I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps the teleport for the Swain for that kind of global pressure that Melbourne High School like to work with so much.
And they have banned away that Gnar from 99.95 ATAR, as well as the Rakan taken away from Thresh Produce.
Yeah. So it's with the Rakan, Thresh Produce was able to Synthesize wasn't actually able to do much with it. But I do believe was it picked in game 1? It was not. So what this means that Rakan is pretty much just taken away as a playmaker. They'll probably scout out Thresh Produce, be like, okay, Thresh Produce is a playmaker. He played Alistair to great effect, and so they're worried about putting him on champions that can really make an impact. So they picked away the Alistair, they banned away the Rakan, and they've even actually banned away their own Varus. So they've stopped Roxburgh College from blind picking the ADC. Blind picking a safe ADC. So Roxburgh is...
Ooh, interesting. So we do see a Lulu being picked up on the side of Roxburgh College, and that just leaves a question. What sort of hyper carry are we going to see?
Well, Lulu goes well with auto attack based ADCs, and with a champion like Lucian, you can actually abuse Lulu quite a bit due to all the autos that come out of it.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
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 We are seeing the master of wins, the Hasaki master.
Would you call that Swiss cheese?
No.
Wouldn't you?
Why would that be Swiss cheese?
It's a bit out of the ordinary. It's put some holes in your enemy, you know.
And the Scion, look at that. A massive amount of...
Wait. No ADC lineup?
It's the Yasuo ADC.
It's either Yasuo ADC or Swain ADC, and that's the thing. No one knows where it's going to go, and technically you could even...
You asked for cheese.
This is definitely
you got cheese. They have a Twitch AD carry. So I don't know how that's going to go up into a Swain and or a Yasuo.
So Twitch is one of those champions that scales super well. So what they're looking to do is just try and like farm up this lane, and with the Lulu, with the shielding, they can probably do it. They do have...
Swain AD carry.
It is Swain AD carry, so they've got to worry about this kill pressure, which is actually quite decent into a Twitch Lulu lane, but with the Twitch Lulu, they just want to farm it up, outscale, because this Twitch is going to be a beast late game. You do have the Sign, you do have the Gragas, so you got decent engage, decent knock up, so it is setting up for Miko to hard carry. And if you look at the top lane, 99.95 ATAR into Noxus Might with the Sion Urgot matchup, I think that's favored to the Urgot early. I really do, because of the amount of harass that Urgot can actually put out.
Yeah. And Sion doesn't have the trading potential that Urgot does, especially Noxious Might. Being on Urgot, he dished out quite a bit of damage against Dr. Mundo and just dominated that laning phase. And Sion doesn't even have he isn't up to the standard of Dr. Mundo. He can be a massive tank, but Urgot is just as healthy and dishes out damage as well.
Yeah, but seeing the Urgot, and they know that Urgot beat the Mundo in lane last time and was able to handily shut down 99.95 ATAR, so they decided to go for something a little bit more in tune with the Yasuo pick, something with a knock up, something with some decent engage, and it's just... I'm loving this cheddar.
They have so much knock up in their team. They have Alistar, they have... Well, I mean, Gragas. Does he count?
Gragas,
yeah, he technically has 2 knockups.
Yes.
Yeah, with the exploding casket,
and
as well
slam,
as the belly body slam.
Would you call it the body slam? What is that called? The belly?
It's called the body slam.
The body slam, yeah.
Yeah, Riot has called it the body slam. I would prefer to call it as the belly rub.
belly. You had no idea where you were going.
No,
with that,
I did not. But it was. I reckon it was funny either way. But jeez.
Guys, so get ready.
Melbourne
Game
High
3,
School.
the best of 3. Melbourne High School looking for the
And they
invade, though.
want to meet up with this Urgot. He's going to spot them out, walk away carefully with all 6 of his legs still intact. And they're going for the invade as well. And whoa.
Whoa, we're just getting a nice up close of the
big
High Noon Yasuo, is it? Or?
Yeah, it's High Noon Yasuo. Was it Scuba Gragas? Mecha Scion, or Choo Choo Scion, as I like to call it. What's the Swain one? Tyrant?
It's I'm not sure, to be honest. So we'll be able to see. We'll be able to tell a lot better if we see the actual.
If we actually see the champions.
Yeah.
But you can see
if we can see the birds or the dragons, or depending on like what you see surrounding the Swain, because Swain has this neat little thing with the map.
It's Tyrant.
It is Tyrant
Yeah.
Swain. Ooh, but we don't actually see the what's that? The Bell Alistair?
Moo Cow
Alistair, the most annoying Alistair in the game.
How disappointing.
Do you have Mecha Scion?
Oh, but we do see the top laner and the jungler. At this red buff, they are looking to contest it, and it doesn't look like they will be able to take it unless they steal it with a smite. They're really going for this one. Pronom really wants to take it, but does he? No, he doesn't, and it's going to be probably at the expense of his life because he flashes over the wall. First blood goes over to Noxious Might.
And Roxburgh College have just had this massive advantage. So we did talk about Swain having that advantageous matchup, but that relies on the minions being there so we can hit them into Urgot. If not that, then Urgot does definitely win in these open field fights. So right there, the 2v2 was won by Roxburgh. So Prono was trying to be really cheeky, grab the red buff, and then get out of there. But of course, it's cost him his life and has put him so far behind and given up first blood to Noxus Might. He's gonna definitely have a lot easier time against 99.95 ATAR now.
Yeah, he is. And Noxious Might, Pronom didn't even steal the red buff. I mean, he would have died anyway, even if he stole the red buff, but it would have been XP in his pocket, giving him a level 2. Maybe potentially not dying, but because he didn't steal it, he just wasn't able to. He's now fallen behind.
Yep. So it's quite a solid effort from Pronom so far this series, but of course this might be put a bit of a spanner in the works. But of course with Miko on the Yasuo in the mid lane, so I'm not sure how that matchup goes, but it's going to be interesting to see if he can actually like beat the down. I do believe because he plays like a bruiser. I do believe in that matchup he should actually win it, but it is very skill dependent.
Yeah, but he is taking quite a bit of a trade against Venomous, and Venomous comes out on top. So I mean, he is ahead in CS, though, so he's doing really well right now. 99.95 ATAR has a lane pushing into him, so currently it's favorable for him. But he is down in quite a bit of CS and is taking quite a bit of poke from Noxious Might.
Yep, so this is the problem with having such an early advantage with the Urgot. He was able to get the lane push in as well, and he's just made 99.95 ATAR pay for it. He's had to burn all 3 corrupting pot stacks, and so far he's just sitting at a roughly equal health. So it's definitely a early one lane by Noxious Might, and he's going to have to keep applying the pressure.
Oh, but onto this Twitch, they're dishing quite a bit of damage, but a full combo does not do enough damage as of yet. So they're not going to be able to capitalize on that, but they're staying even in CS.
Yeah, and there's the advantage of having the Lulu with the Twitch. So Twitch just wants to farm it up, outscale, get those 3-item power spikes, and just shred an entire enemy team with his ultimate, with so much power behind him. But of course, with the Alistair and the Swain, you have so much kill potential. So Lulu's really good pickup here, because that polymorph just is pretty much like you're not going to be able to play this game for a bit. You're a little bunny rabbit for about 2 seconds.
You can walk around. You can. It's an interactive spectator.
Interactive spectator mode. You get to be part of the scenery for about 2 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the players can actually see you, but you can't do anything. Whoa! Massive engage onto the bot lane, though. He's going to be able to knock up 2 members in this bot side. A stun coming out on Termes as well. Ignite has been used. Liquid Sandwich too far away, as Synthesize can't do anything onto him. He flashes for it, and he's going to be able to pick it up, but Lulu returns kills. However, Thresh Produce picks up the kill into that one.
Yeah, so really well played there by Melbourne High School. But of course, the Zach was there. Zervalence wasn't able to do anything. But of course, the kill went over to the Lulu instead of the Twitch. So that might be advantageous towards Melbourne High School, considering how fast Swain spikes relative to standard ADC. He is rushing the blasting one instead of going for the Catalyst of Eon. So he's looking to trade more and more and more. And with so much extra burst damage because of the blasting one, this is definitely going to be a dangerous lane for the Twitch Lulu. It's looking forward to how this goes.
Miko doing well in poking out Venomous and is forcing him to use the health pot as well. Miko is in control of this lane right now. He's got a massive CS lead as well.
Oh, it's absolutely huge CS lead.
Oh, he missed it.
It's at 6 minutes into the game, he's pretty much got like a 14 CS lead, but it looks like it might be a bit of
cheese, as you like to call it. Synthesized and Liquid Sand. They're going on to Termes. He's alone as well. Doesn't have a looter to back him up, and he is going to go down to Liquid Sandwich for that last auto attack. That
is disastrous right there. And Melbourne High School, they pulled out the cheese, being like, okay, cool, we got a lot of eggs in this basket. Eggs aren't really used to make cheese though, so I don't see how I'm gonna like connect that together with a segue.
But we do see a bit of a rumble up in the top lane. Noxious Might dishing out quite a bit of damage. That shield doing a lot of work for him, but he's low on mana. 99.95 ATAR has got a relatively large amount of mana. Has bought a nice Iceborne Gauntlet to deal with the massive amount of damage that Noxious Might can dish out on this Urgot. And with that regenerating bead, I believe is what you call it.
It's regenerating. It's
regenerating health pot thingy.
Oh, the biscuit. Sorry, which? Oh, the refillable potion.
That one. That's why did I say?
I thought you were referring to a rejuvenation bead. So I'm like looking. It's like I don't see one.
No. But Noxious Might has a lot of lane sustain as well. He can dish out damage, as well as basically 2 health pots every back.
Oh, and so because he's able to just bully out the lane. So here's one of the issues with Sion. So Sion has really good base stats, but his impact outside of CC and being a meat shield falls off hard as you get into the mid game and late game. So you definitely want to put a Sion behind, because Sion you pick for that lane dominance and then for that hard engage. So if he can't lane dominant, that means he can't really find the lane. He can't really win the split push. And
Miko doing well to dodge those and hit those as well. But Liquid Sandwich is doing really well in this bot side, ahead in CS by 9. Going on 10, hopefully. But we do see Pronom in this bot side as well.
Yeah, so it does seem to be a lot of focus on this bot side for Melbourne High School. Actually not really, to be honest, because Pronom hasn't really been down here a lot, and Roxburgh has just been quite unfortunate with
Oh, but there's a little bit of a skirmish in the mid lane. Ignite has been used onto Miko. He does have the Tornado though, so he's going to use that as a zoning tool to stop Venomous from coming back in. Windwall a bit off. Didn't really need to use that, but that's besides the point. We do have Miko. He's still in control of this lane, but not as much as he was before. Now that both have landed a level 7.
It's honestly, that Windwall didn't actually have any role aside from just a show of dominance. It's like, look, I can screw up my abilities and I'm still winning.
Yeah, true.
He's got a 30 CS lead at 9 minutes. This counter pick is just an absolute menace right here. He's able to just decimate right there. Miko is has definitely gone to town on Venomous so far this series in laning phase, just having CS leads in every game. And in the bot lane now, Liquid Sand is able to just shut down Termes, and Termes has been the shining light of Roxburgh College. So
can he solo this?
I don't think he can. He doesn't quite have the sustain. So
he has smite though.
He does actually.
He might have to early smite this.
Oof. Pretty close. Yeah, he's had that early smite.
Okay. But will he still be able to take it? Oh, he does.
He does. So
Cloud
the Cloud
Drake going over.
Cloud Drake is definitely one of Tico's favorite Drakes, if not the favorite Drake. Shout out to Predator Quinn. I know he likes to run. But but one of the key things about the Cloud Drake is it does give you extra movement speed out of combat. So what this does, it allows you to roam faster, allows you to out-rotate your opponent, allows you to play the macro
but
game.
up in the top lane, 99.95 ATAR had the health advantage, but not so much anymore. Ultimate has been used. Noxious Might is going to be able to consume him, but he's still got the body to destroy.
Yep, so he's just using it to like shove in the wave a little bit, but it might...
He brought the CS back to even.
Yeah, so but of course when those three minions went down, Noxus Might is back in the lead. But it's and we're definitely seeing Noxus Might just going to town on this Urgot. It's definitely showing 99.95 ATAR who is boss. And if you think about it, aside from game 1, he's actually had a very solid series against 99.95 ATAR, who does have a challenger jacket.
Yeah, he does. And I mean, this isn't a winning matchup for Sion, so he's not that great in as a not the player. Sion just isn't great in the top lane against someone with range like Urgot, with the amount of damage that can be dished out like Urgot.
With the shielding as well. Like, one of the key things about Urgot is that he's got sustained damage, and because that shield, he's good into burst damage as well. So these short trade windows, Urgot just wins hands down. And considering that a lot of Sion's damage is in his abilities, that does mean that it's very bursty compared to someone like Urgot. And Urgot's designed to deal with a champion like that. So Noxus Might is definitely just showing off right now. So 99.95 ATAR has definitely picked for the team, and we're going to have to see how this transitions to mid-game. However, while we've been talking about all of that, mid lane and bot lane have just been, it's a 35 CS lead in the mid lane, a 25 CS lead in the bot lane, and Termes is not having a fun game right now, being a 0-2 against a 2-1 Swain, who's already got the Rod of Ages. And that Blade of the Ruined King looks so far away, even though it's so close.
But just remember, Twitch is a late game scaling champion, so he will be looking for the... Lulu will come so in... Oh, Lulu will be so helpful in the late game, especially with the amount of peel that Twitch needs in the late game, especially against heavy divers like Sion, like Gragas, Yasuo, their entire team.
Oh, it's like he needs to get peeled from the divers, like half their team, and it's
all of their team.
Most of their team. Oh, and they got a lot of cash potential coming from the Swain as well, who can capitalize on any CC. So you're looking at a very dangerous potential right here, a very dangerous pick and a dive and engage team. But if this game goes past 30-40 minutes and the Twitch starts gets the Runa's Hurricane, gets the Infinity Edge, this is a very dangerous Twitch, and it is not something that you want to have to deal with. It's at 3 items, Runa's Hurricane, i.e. Blade of the Ruined King, you do percentage health damage, you have a lot of attack speed, do AoE damage with your ultimate and with the Runans, and those stacks, it's... No matter how much tankiness you build, the Infinity Edge is true damage as well, so it's...
Oh, that's a fast Alistar. Look at him go.
Those mobility boots are looking fine.
Those mobility boots. Ah ha ha, you dab.
So guys, as a completely random note, I am now looking for a new caster. And you can rush here right now.
But
synthesize. Here's the thing with Alistar though. Alistar is such a good playmaker, and if you get the mobility boots early, it means you can roam up to mid lane, and because Yasuo and Alistar go so well because of the knockup, it is an amazing playmaking tool.
Oh, that was the... Oh, okay, no. It was not a great wind wall coming out from Miko.
A very questionable
Yes,
wind wall.
that's the word I was going for. That's a questionable wind wall coming out from you, Miko.
And of course, on the back of all that, 99.95 ATAR did burn the teleport trying to help, but he was too little too late and he had to cancel it. So now we have a teleport advantage in favor of Roxburgh College. And it's... with a top laner that's already winning lane and getting pressure in lane, it just means that everything is, even with a gold deficit, we do have a lot of proactiveness that can come out of Roxburgh College to really cement a lead. So it's just a question of, can they do anything with this now, summon a spell advantage, or whether they'll just like sit in it and just keep on allowing the Twitch to just farm safely. But he's slowly dipping down in farm now, 30 CS disadvantage.
Yeah, but he's still so far ahead. Okay, so Yasuo Miko has already picked up a Phantom Dancer, while Venomous still has to finish an item. Has the Sheen, has the Magic Wand.
The Blasting Wand.
Sorry. But just doesn't have a completed item.
Yes. So he's definitely going for that Lich Bane. So what Lich Bane does is allows him to get a lot of burst with those Spellblade procs. But it's honestly, Roxburgh College don't really need to do much. The premise is not on them to be proactive. The premise is on them to scale with the Twitch. But of course, we know in high school, they want to make these plays, they want to get this lead, and it's once again, there's a very slow, very methodical game from both sides, and the Predator being they're just able to run like crazy, and it's the Twitch and Lulu pick are they're just absorbing pressure right now.
Yeah, but they might be rotating for the Ocean Drake as it looks to be free. We do see Surveillance down the bot side, and they really look to take down Venomous, but Venomous has a bit more movement speed. No, actually, no, that's a lie. They have Cloud. Venomous...
He does have the Aether
run
Wisp
away.
though.
Oh, true. But, whoa, that's a weird combo coming out from Swain and Alistar. Liquid Sandwich. Oof.
That was heartbreaking to watch.
Ouch.
And with the Sorcerer Shoes of the 18 flat Magic Pen, that Lulu had no resistances as he got absolutely destroyed.
Comes the train, choo-choo, as he might collide. No, he doesn't. He just does it from lane. Just to get into lane. He doesn't have teleport.
Yeah, so it does mean that a big engage tool is gone there, so they might not play around top lane for a little while, but it does look like they are just going for this Ocean Drake, so they are playing the slow objective game. It did work out for them last time, and so far with the Swain getting this lead on Twitch, this lead is slowly growing, and
looking for another one. Is he going to win wall it correctly? Oh, good Hasaki as he's going to... the win wall wasn't great, but he's going to get brought back into the win wall, and Surveillance is going to be able to pick up the kill there. Venomous brought in, but that was not... the headbutt was...
that was
questionable.
It's one of those things, like the Alistar headbutt combo used to be a lot harder to pull off, and then they changed it so it was easy to pull off, but it's still possible in a moment. You'll thinking, oh no, I've got to make a recovery play. But even if he did knock up Venomous, he didn't have the follow-up from his team to be able to do much with it. So this is, it's at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, but it's one of those things where like you can see the nerves are getting to them. Melbourne High School, they came in as the favorites, and they're on the verge of being upset by Roxburgh College, who they already beat. So they're probably thinking right now, it's like, it's how do I... they're worried about making a stuff up, and in turn that could cause an even bigger stuff up.
It could definitely cause a stuff up, and Termes is only getting bigger and bigger. He's already finished the Blade of the Ruined King. The train down in the bot side, unfortunately, wasn't able to pick up Termes, and that invisibility is helpful.
And it's... So far, this game has been a lot slower, but we might just see a tower being dropped in the bot lane. So this... Oh, no.
Oh, he gets caught out. A really good ultimate coming out from Thresh Produce. In comes Surveillance. Thresh Produce is still alive. Termes goes down, however. First turret has been taken down the bot side. Liquid Sandwich is running for his life. Now Synthesize, forced to flash over the wall. And now it's 99.95. Atar, they really want to get a kill. Swap turret for turret. Meanwhile, Venomous solo kills Miko.
Yep, so Miko, even though you have this gold lead, my friend, you guys have 2 towers to 0. He did seem to trade his life for that mid lane tower, so that might have actually been worth it, considering that at the end of all that, they got 2 towers to 0. They have two Drakes gold lead. And with the Yasuo, even though he's down 0-3, he still has this gold lead of about 600. So right now, Melbourne High School is definitely in the driver's seat. They're definitely playing the objective game again, and they don't mind if they lose 1 or 2 lives. In the process, they're getting the Swain fed, they're getting the Twitch put behind, and it's working out in their favor. It's definitely looking like a repeat of Game 1 so far, but don't count Roxburgh College out too soon, because we've seen what happens when their back's against the wall.
Yeah, and they are looking to come back swinging. They want to get control of this map again. They have the Twitch and the Lulu, have sort of left bot lane on its own, and it's looking more to be push out mid lane.
Oh, Sign is one of the champions that does actually have some relatively decent clear. And if you actually look at the Signs build, he has rushed the Frozen Heart, and Frozen Heart's an amazing item in both against both Urgot and the Twitch, and come late game, that's going to be a massive damage mitigation to Twitch. Not that it's going to completely shut down Twitch, but it's going to definitely slow down Twitch's auto attacks by I believe about 20%. So this is huge. That is definitely huge for these late game teamfights.
And we have yet to see Miko come out with a massive combo with the rest of his team. he needs to travel with his team if he wants to utilize their knockups and their CC.
But at the end of the day, he's doing...
Oh,
no.
but there's a massive fight up in this top lane. Teleport coming out as well. The suppression is going to bring him down. Liquid Sandwich, the AP carry, is gone down. Surveillance, however, is really looking to kill Synthesize. A really good knockup, however. Noxious Might, they're looking to dive this. Meanwhile, we watch Termes as Noxious Might picks up the kill onto Synthesize.
And he's practically as healthy as when he started right there. And that was a really good engage right there from Roxburgh College, but it does look like it's counter engage.
They are looking for a counter engage, as you said. Noxious Might, he's taking quite a bit of damage, but not as much as Pronome is. He's not tanky enough, and they escape with more health than they left.
Well, it does look like Pronome is actually going for this AP build. He has got the Runic Echoes. He's building the Seeker's Arm Guard. So he's going definitely trying to go for that Burst Gragas, go for the carry Varus. Sorry, Gragas. There's no Varus in this game, unfortunately. But we do have Swain getting the Merlinomicon. So with that, what that means is that Surveillance doesn't have as much healing anymore. Termes won't have as much healing as well with the Blade of the Ruined King, so shuts down that. Also means that he has 33 flat magic penetration. And considering that the magic resist on ADCs don't scale anymore, I do believe that it's going to be an absolute menace for Termes to deal with, and it's going to be disastrous if Termes gets caught out alone.
Yeah, but Termes is never alone anymore. I mean, he's sort of alone, but we do see Thresh Produce is always nearby.
Yep. So I'm still disappointed we didn't get to see Thresh Produce on Thresh. It brings a tear to my eye, just a single tear, not two, just one.
Like yeah.
It's just like we haven't seen Noxus Might on Darius.
Yeah, but isn't Urgot Noxian?
Yeah, I was just thinking that too, but it's like it's not the Noxian that everyone knows.
I may be wrong. Urgot might not be Noxious.
Yeah, you never know. So
what? Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, so we look across the map so far. So looking at a 3,000 gold lead in favor of Melbourne High School, and of course this gold lead hasn't really differed that much in the last few minutes. So it's still on Melbourne High School, who are making the proactive plays. They do have 2 towers to 0. They do have the 2 Drakes. Drake is coming up soon as well, but instead they're making a play for top side. And
nope, they're just making a play for champions as Surveillance gets... I don't know what Pronome is doing, but he is alone in the backline, and there is nothing the rest of them can do. The ultimate is down by 99.95 as well, so that's another essential knock-up ability for Mako that can't be used. He's going to get caught out, but Surveillance is actually so tanky.
Yep, and right there we do see the issue with the Gragas, with the AP Gragas. You do not have the tanky stats to be able to survive the onslaught.
Oh, Miko's gonna get caught out. Really good blasting cone, however, and Surveillance goes a bit further than expected.
And of course, Roxburgh College do come out the better for that. They do. Looks like Noxus might be trying to 2v1 his backup though.
Oh, it's now a 3v2. A really good knockup onto Noxious Might, but now in comes the rest of the team. Venomous is on the... Well, I mean, there is no backline, but Venomous is in the middle of everything, taking quite a bit of damage, and Liquid picks up a kill. 99.95 picks up one onto Venomous as well, and they are just looking to take down that Zac. That was a 4-for-0 team fight.
And Melbourne High School turn that around, and they will be able to go for the Baron from here. No one can really contest except for Termes. Termes is not that powerful yet. He's only got a Zeal on top of the Blade of the Ruined King and those Berserker Greaves, so he doesn't have a lot of burst damage. It's very difficult for him to steal. The only thing he can do is just run interference, and even then, he will just get turned on and burst because of how much CC Melbourne High School have. So this is the game changer right here. A free Baron to Melbourne High School, a 1-team fight, 6,000 gold lead. Melbourne High School are back in control.
And look at the amount of gold that Liquid Sandwich has over Termes. 3,000.
3,000 gold lead, and it seemed
an entire item.
It seemed like the opposite last game, where Termes had this massive gold lead over Liquid Sandwich, and Liquid Sandwich is like, you know what, I'm gonna embarrass you. You did this to me, I'm doing it to you. He almost has a Zhonya's Hourglass. He almost has 3 items as opposed to 1.5 items from Termes, and this is Termes is not having a good game so far.
No, he is not, but scaling.
Scaling indeed.
If it gets to that point.
3 items, that's when he starts coming online. He needs to build that Runeland's Hurricane fast, and he needs to get that Infinity Edge. Maybe even a Storm Razor in there as well. It's 4 items, a massive amount of damage, massive amount of attack speed, a lot of shred.
And that's going to be a second Cloud Drake of the game going over to Roxburgh, so they are going to be running fast.
Oh,
Pronome has Predator as well, so...
Oh, exactly. So, and if he's got Celerity as well, that's going to be an absolute nightmare to deal with.
Does he?
If he does.
Okay.
So, we do have the Phase Rush on the Swain, so that can also mean that he's running Celerity as well, just so he can stay onto targets and get extra damage as the fight goes on. So, wouldn't surprise me if that is, but with the Cannon minion up in the mid lane, they can just siege down this tower for days, and it's so hard for them to clear.
Yeah.
Especially considering that Twitch is still at base right now.
Yeah, but they don't have the damage against the turret. It's all on their cannon minions. So they themselves can't actually dish out much damage to that turret because they don't have much range.
The only real range on their team is the Swain, and Swain isn't exactly an amazing split pusher or amazing damage dealer to towers, simply because he doesn't have a very high attack speed. He does have good AP, but the attack speed is not there. We do see the Rune's Hurricane being picked up for Twitch, so he's slowly getting there. But at 26 minutes for Rune's Hurricane, that's a bit slow, and it's definitely not optimal right now. Whereas the Yasuo already has 100% crit. He does have the Phantom Dancer and the Infinity Edge, so he can get in there, he can do his damage, he can shred like crazy. Does a lot of true damage to tanks like Noxus Smite on the Urgot, simply because he's got Conquer and the Infinity Edge. It's definitely looking in favor of Melbourne High School, but they need to make use of the Baron, otherwise this is once again going to turn back into a stall fest where it's all about Twitch coming online.
Yeah, and once he comes online, that's going to be a game changer. As we said time and time again, Twitch is the game changer. Lulu helping him stay alive as well is definitely going to help. But Termes just needs to come online, get that 3rd item. He's got Blade of the Rune King. He's got Rune's Hurricane. He just needs to be... he just needs to get more CS. He needs to be more proactive. He needs to do everything right, basically, to put his entire team back on his back and carry his team to victory. Give him the tournament.
Oh, indeed, and it's like, as we can see, another tower falls to these Baron up minions from Melbourne High School. They need to rely on this Baron. They really need to push because they don't have a great siege. They have a good team fight. They don't have a good siege, though. They need to force fights around the objectives or when they have Baron. And that's literally how their team comp relies. Oh, what it relies on.
Oh, he gets engaged on. The ultimate has been used. Hasaki as Miko gets a kill onto Venomous. The laner goes down as Surveillance taking quite a bit of damage, but he's going to be able to walk away from this one. Sorry, no, blob away from this one as... Wow, Venomous goes down.
And Baron has actually run out now, and they haven't been able to get the bottom tower as well. It does look like almost everyone is up and coming to defend this top tower, so it does look like it might be a successful defense from Roxburgh College at the cost of Venomous alone.
Oh no, he's been pushed up too far and he has no resistances. However, Lulu helps him with that one, and Noxious Might is able to kill Synthesize. We have the backline on Thresh Produce. He's still alive somehow, but 99.95 Atar is going to be able to secure the kill. Great shield coming out from Noxious Might, and it's going to be just enough to keep him alive. Termes is getting very big now. 99.95 Atar is in danger. Couple auto attacks from Termes should do it. He's picked up the shutdown gold, and he is looking to run away with this one. 99.95 Atar is chasing him, but unfortunately, the undead will remain undead.
And Termes able to stay safe for so long and clean up on the back of that fight. Make it something worth. But this is still almost a 9,000 gold lead in favor of Melbourne High School. And you got the kills into the right member, but it's not enough to quite get that Infinity Edge yet. But it's good enough so that you can just stall out the game. You didn't lose another tower. You're still down 4-0. You're still down almost 8,500 gold. But this is not insurmountable. We do have the scaling. We do have we have a Yasuo who's still not on 3 items, so he's not a master. He's getting burst in these team fights. Venomous is unfortunately not able to do a lot, and once again he's down in CS against Miko, but he's doing his job. He's taking a lot of pressure off Termes because Venomous is just going in hardcore and getting burst for it. They're using all his abilities on him. So Termes is just using the scapegoat, using the sacrificial lamb to keep himself safe.
Yeah, and they're doing this really well. Roxburgh know that they have to give up something to gain something else, and what they're doing is actually really good. Venomous going down, using all the cooldowns, which means they're basically able to give Termes a free fight.
But of course, it looks like they're trying to make a pick in this in both bot lane and the jungle. But of course, it's more about starving out vision around the river, because they do need this Baron. They do need this Baron to be able to siege. They can't siege properly without it. They don't have the range. They have the playmaking, but they've shown that they can't really engage on a tower. There's so much disengage with the Lulu. There's so much tankiness with this fed Urgot. So it's
zoning coming out from Melbourne High School. Pronom is doing really well as an AP Gragas. He's not getting any kills, not getting any picks, but it's just the threat of him.
Yep. And of course, with this, they can rotate, clear out vision in the jungle, but it looks like it's just going to be a nice little back. And it's nothing too fancy right here. And of course, they do get to reset, they do get to spend their gold, and that means it's a Void Staff picked up for the Swain. It is a Sterex Gauge picked up for the Yasuo, and you even have the Iceborne Golem picked up for Pronom. So it's right across the board. We're seeing these massive power spikes be hit. We're seeing these massive gold leads, and when you only have, with your third item only being a BF sword so far for the Twitch, this is problematic if a team fight erupts the next 5 or so minutes.
And we do see Liquid Sandwich. You said he wasn't a great split pusher, but he's split pushing. He has teleport with him, so he's able to join a team fight very quickly, and that is a third Cloud Drake of the game.
Yeah, so Cloud Drake is up again, but they might just be trying to make a play around the Baron, considering that Liquid Sandwich does have the teleport. So what they might be trying to do is just bait it out, because they don't actually have a lot of DPS to take down. Well, they do have the Yasuo though. That is a definite.
There is no vision coming out from Roxburgh College. They have no vision on this Baron.
It's definitely it's going down quite slowly, because I don't quite have an ADC to really burst down. But of course, the zoning coming out of 99.95 ATAR is there. 2000.
Will he be able to take it down? They will be able to take it down, and a really good ultimate coming out from Yasuo. Termes is going to get stunned, and this good disengage coming out from Surveillance, but I don't know if it's good enough. Yasuo gets a double kill. He's going for more. Termes taking too much damage as he's forced to back away from this one. Has used the ultimate as well, the spray and pray, but unfortunately did not use it effectively, and they have still 5 members standing on Melbourne High School with Baron buff, and soon to join them, Baron empowered minions. They should be able to take down an inhibitor turret, an inhibitor, and potentially the game.
Melbourne High School once again rinsing and repeating the Baron into the team fight, into the push, and it looks like they might just close this out. We do have Termes still up though. He can try and make some plays.
Surveillance charging Termes. Good flash. He's getting a lot of DPS. He's going on a killing spree. He's got a lot of backup on his side, but unfortunately he goes down. Shutdown gold going over to the tank, and they are going to be able to clean this up. Good flash coming out, but Venomous is going to get the shutdown gold. Will they be able to hold it? We have 3 members have spawned coming out from Roxburgh College, and they actually will be able to hold on to this for a little longer. This final game is staying.
Yep, and right there, Termes was able to do so much work on shredding that line, and has now finally picked up the Infinity Edge on the back of that fight. Even though he is a full item and a half behind the Swain, he is still relevant now. He has reached that massive power spike we've been talking about, and this is the point where he starts becoming a massive potent threat. He's 3,000 gold behind, but that doesn't matter. The Yasuo is 5,000 gold ahead of the Diana. That does not matter. What matters is his next team fight, and it's Roxburgh College. They are 13,000 gold behind. You think, okay, they've got no hope, but they just held off a Baron-empowered team that went for the end, and they succeeded. So it's Melbourne High School have to be thinking, come on, what do we have to do to put these guys away?
They have to do the best they can. That's going to be a third Cloud Drake, but what are you laughing at?
It has to do the best they
Best
can.
they can. Okay, shush. It's just finding words. Look, 3 Cloud Drakes. If they're not gonna siege down mid, they're gonna out-rotate. Because 3 Cloud Drakes, look how fast that Alistar is running. That's almost Quinn-like.
Almost.
Predator, though. Pronom is going fast as well. This is... See, they're sieging down bot lane, and they will out-rotate if they can't take down this. But they have Baron-empowered minions. They're looking to siege this hard.
This is definitely it's honestly okay. So the fact of the matter is they have the cannon minion, so they have the siege potential. The inhibitor is down in the mid lane, so they can just continually hold this and hope for a catch with the Swain or with the Alistar or with the Sion or the Yasuo. So it's in their favor. They are slowly getting damage down, but they do lose the cannon minion. That is quite unfortunate.
But they have another one.
Oh, okay.
Welcome replacement. The train does knock up Surveillance, but here goes a full-out team fight. Venomous does use Zony's Hourglass. Surveillance bringing out, but Termes goes down, and that's a lot of damage gone. Triple kill going over to Liquid Sand as the APC is cleaning up. The Ace going over, double flash, a bit of BM, the wind wall as well, and they are going to take the Nexus turret and eventually the 50 gold for the Nexus.
Amazing play right there, and there we have it. These guys, they have won first place. These high school students from Melbourne High School have just dominated. They went unbeaten in the regular season. They won 2-1, and they had the macro game. As soon as one team got a lead, they kept on pushing, kept on starving the other team of the objectives. And it's Melbourne High School. These guys have a lot of talent, have a lot of raw skill. Really well played by them to just honestly play this well, play that control, play that restrained. It's honestly, they're better than us, without a doubt.
Well, definitely. I mean, one of them is a challenger, and we're gold. We're silver.
I could get a challenge.
Yeah, totally.
Team's holding me back though.
Oh, so. yeah. Solo queue. But it's amazing what these guys can do. High schoolers playing in a tournament of this caliber. It's just amazing what they're able to do. Melbourne High School going 10-0, now 11-0. Not games, but series wins. And it's just unfortunate that Roxburgh College, they did so well to bring second game back in, giving us a bit of entertainment, but the cheese coming out from Melbourne High School was just
going back.
It was overwhelming.
Yeah, going back a bit into a few patches ago where they actually did, where Swain bot lane was actually meta, and the Yasuo could have even gone down there as well because he had the Alistar pick. So it was literally just a 3-4 knock-up team with the Swain on top. So you had so much CC, so much pick potential, a lot of engaged potential, and that last team fight, Termes tried his best, but unfortunately he wasn't able to stay away from the Yasuo, who just dived onto him, got him in a knock-up, last breath, demolished him, and that was all she wrote.
Yep, and that is going to be the tournament for Victoria, going over to Melbourne High School, to 99.95 ATAR.
Indeed.
Pronom. Miko, I'm going to go through this. Miko, Liquid Sandwich, and Synthesized.
So, it's honestly 99.95 ATAR. You deserve the ATAR if you've worked this as hard as you did for this tournament to get it. Pronom. You shouldn't be a pronom. You should be a pro player. There's a difference here.
Well, I mean, semi-pro already.
Yeah, pretty much semi-pro. There's an 11,000 RP prize for this tournament, so huge prizing.
Yeah.
And it's honestly, guys, this is an absolute blast today. It's been an absolute wonderful thing, wonderful to watch this tournament and cast it with you guys. We will be out there shortly saying hello to everyone, congratulating the players. Guys, just give a warm welcome to these guys who just went so hard for the last 12 weeks, honestly. Like, amazing stuff.
And we would like to say thank you to everyone, the people watching, the backstage or production crew, everyone organizing, and just sponsors, HSEL, everyone. It's amazing. It's amazing what we're able to do, and I don't know, it's just, yeah.
Well, guys.
So that's the team right there, Melbourne High School.
Yep, guys. So, honestly, guys, give these guys a warm welcome. Give them a round of applause. And we're off, guys. Have a good one.
See you later.
Now I am a sucker for a hidden entrance, and I've heard there's one in here, so let's see what we can find. I mean, it's got to be the bookshelf, right? Very good at pinball. I'm a bit scared. So, a cool fact about this Minotaur, it was actually sculpted by the same guy that did Ludo from Labyrinth, which I love. There's a shell from Portal, that's awesome. Overwatch socks. You didn't think you needed them, but you do. Let's go look at some Star Wars stuff. The ever popular backpack Yoda. I'm Luke, I'm training. Okay, well, I think it is definitely time for lunch. Thank you. So this is the first game that Mario ever appeared in. But he was known not as Mario, but Jumpman. Facts. Gaming facts. We're back on track, back on track. Oh no! I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you!
Hey, Melbourne.
Do you want to wake up with us?
All of us?
You want the biggest artist.
The best music.
The freshest hits first.
And some old favourites.
Yes.
That's non-stop hits.
So you've got Chrissy, Sam and Brownie in the morning.
The best music all day.
Nova's greatest hits workday.
And us, Kate, Tim and Marty for the drive home.
Only on Melbourne's Nova 100.
Love.
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 Love Nova.
Get your game on in the JB Hi-Fi Game On Zone. Located in the Function Centre, come over to get first to play Access on Marvel's Spider-Man, Tom Clancy's The Division 2, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, plus all the other awesome games. Get exclusive pre-order deals on some of this year's hottest upcoming games. Come over for the Fortnite Free Play Challenge for a chance to win prize packs from Astro, Plantronics, Turtle Beach, Corsair and Sennheiser. Plus, there's free play on all these latest games and stacks more. Get over to the JB Hi-Fi Game On Zone, located in the Function Centre. Open till 5 p.m. Saturday and Sunday.
Bye.